Hey, everybody. Jay Real here with an old friend. It's been a while. Dirk
Yeah,
from
man.
Subjective Perspective Collective
Yes, sir.
is joining us tonight.
Appreciate
And
you having me on, man. I know we're under a heat advisory in Arkansas, Louisiana, and Texas. So,
we, they what they call high pressure. And of
right.
course, we get that every year. Every year it's 105, 110 degrees, for like a couple of months straight. That's
Yeah.
typical for us. It's in the low 90s right now. But
hmm
yeah, the high pressure is supposed to move more off to where you guys are at. You
Yeah,
know,
it was 95 today, but felt like 109, you know. So, shit.
y'all typically don't get it that hot, do you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, you
Yeah.
do? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Louisiana's humid as hell. It's like the air you can wear, you know. It's
That's the
like
way it is here. Yeah.
Yeah, just humidity. We call it humanidity to be out in that shit, you know. So
It just coats your body in a
yeah,
wet blanket.
yeah, man. If you're working outside, I mean, you better take a lot of breaks to find you a shade tree. Is all I know. So,
Well, you break sweat just blinking.
mm-hmm.
And hey, Kathy,
Hey now,
there's my sister. Uh, But yeah, we're going to take it easy here. I think Brandon sent me a message that he's rebooting his Wi-Fi, so hopefully he'll be joining us here pretty soon. Um,
okay, okay,
but yeah, this is something particularly one that I was hoping that you would be able to join us for this particular subject because, you know, why do you watch horror movies? Well, you watch them hopefully to be scared, and
yeah. I mean, for me, it was, at a young age, it scared the shit out of me, and then it just grabbed me, and it's like I wanted to feel that rush, you know, for now on, it's kind of deal. So, but
yeah, it's kind of like chasing a thrill, kind of like riding a roller coaster or something like that.
yeah, and
But
also horror. There's no rules most of the time. You know, like hardly any rules. I mean, you can do so much more in the horror genre. That's why I love it the most. So
well, yeah, and it's the thing with horror movies. You speaking of rules, is an individual horror movie will kind of set their own rules in the movie,
right,
and how far they're going to go or what direction they're going to go, and they kind of set their own rules. Like you say, there are no rules for a horror movie, but
right.
the individual movies kind of set their own rule.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
But hang on here, let's get Brandon on here with the big old mug of beer. And,
Yes,
What's going
drowning
on?
my sorrows with the internet problems.
I hear it.
uh, and Brandon's off west Texas, and of course he's dealing with the heat as much, or if not more, than we are. So
What's that?
Okay.
Like David Allen Coe said, cuss into Texas heat and skeeters.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm in North Louisiana, so you know it's about 300. Well, about 3 hours from Dallas, I guess you'd say.
yeah, I've been there. I went there. Went to that. Uh, right when you get into Louisiana, there is
Hmm.
uh, uh, a club. Of course, everything's on the water. Anything you're dealing with gambling's on the water. Uh,
Right. Oh yeah, the
and
casinos and stuff.
a casino, yeah. I
Yeah.
went there with my niece and my sister, and then went with, a few months later with my uncle. Right before he passed away, went with my uncle. It was nice to go because he had gone with his late wife, and he'd be able to go one final time. So I went with him.
We
I
just
lost.
uh we just went to well, it was a couple weeks back. Me and my wife went to Gibbsland, Louisiana, and that's where Bonnie and Clyde were killed. We went to the actual spot where they were killed,
Huh.
and went to that museum and everything. The museum's exactly like 7 miles away, and where the museum is where the cafe was. That's where they got their last meal, and then they went down the road and they got ambushed. the Bonnie and Clyde. So it's about 50 minutes from where I live. But
Yeah, their car got shocked as shit. If you ever seen.
yeah. But it's a cool.
Is the car in the museum?
They have a car there, but it's not like for years. I remember the last time I went was back in 1990, and the old owner was telling everybody that was the real car and shit, but it wasn't. The real car's in Vegas at some casino. I can't remember which casino, but there is a replica car though, and they got it all fixed up. I got a video I'm working on. I'm gonna put it out and show the whole museum and everything. It's pretty cool.
Cool. Yeah, I would like to see that. Darren's here. And what's up, Dirk, Jay, Brandon? We are in the middle of a heat wave here, and it's not fun. Yep, we're all dealing with that.
Yeah.
We're all dealing with the heat wave.
What's going on, Darren? I bet your heat wave feels like, the morning here,
Yeah,
Darren's
that's
over there
why.
in the UK, He's over in Wales. So
That's why I got me some cold beer. I tried this one, this Tex Hex Shiner IPA.
okay.
Huh.
Yeah, my brother-in-law, he's into the real fancy beers, and he said I need to branch out from Pabst and Budweiser. So tried this IPA. Not bad, pretty good.
Yeah. My drinking days are behind me now, I drank plenty though for everybody, I think,
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had to finally quit that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, you says he's in Wales, and then he says it's 90 odd there. So
Their temperature is different than ours though. So I'm not real sure. It's Celsius, I think, right? I don't think
Yep.
it's Fahrenheit. Yeah.
he says 90 odd. I'm not sure exactly what that means, 90 odd. But
Yeah.
do they have more of a Darren? Do you have more of a dry heat there, or do you have the humidity that we have here in Texas?
It's mostly, from what I understand, Wales is pretty close to Ireland, so it's not near as hot as it is here, but I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
it's one of the reasons why I'm going back to my janitor job, because I'm getting tired of being in the semi trailers, moving all them water heaters and toilets and shit, sweating like a dog.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm like, man, yeah.
Oh
I
yeah,
got
so
fun.
Darren don't have air conditioning over in Wales. No such thing as air conditioning over there.
Huh.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't maybe Darren can speak of this? Didn't you guys have a heat wave just like a couple of years ago that was pretty bad? And of course, like you say, like Dirk says, you don't have air conditioning, and so it got really bad because you guys don't have AC. He says, I'm sat in front of a fan. Yep, that's me too. I've got 3 fans going on me right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess it's every damn where right now. So.
But I'm glad, particularly that Dirk was able to join us. And Brandon, of course, we've been a team here for quite a while. But great to have Dirk back from Subjective Perspective Collective. And before we begin, we got a few things to talk about before we get to the subject. But you got anything you want to plug on your end, Dirk?
So this Sunday at be 8 Eastern Standard Time. On our channel, on Subjective Perspective Collective, we'll be covering some cannibal films. So the name of the stream is called Cannibal Cookout.
Hell yeah.
So we're going to be covering the first cannibal film, Umberto Lenzi's Man from Deep River. And then we're going to be covering Sergio Martino's Slave of the Cannibal God. And then the third one's going to be the one with John Saxon. It's a Antonio Margheriti film called Cannibal Apocalypse. That'll be fun. We'll be talking about that stuff.
It seems like the Italians are the ones that just kind of had that cannibal market, huh?
Yeah. Yep. I mean, Holocaust, it always gets mentioned, rightly so, but Umberto Lenzi had the first one, though. So.
You know, that's a movie I've only seen once. Hannibal Holocaust. Cannibal Holocaust.
Right.
And I think I saw it a little too young in my life. I was like 12, 13. I saw it on VHS. And of course, it's the animal deaths that get to you.
Yeah.
You know, and
That the impaling scene, like where you see that girl with the
thing out of her mouth.
Yeah, that shit.
It still works, It's probably
Yeah.
it's probably a real simple thing to do, just a real simple effect, but it's still really effective.
It's very effective, and that whole movie is. I think. I mean, it looks real to me. Like, but
I love the peaceful music at the beginning.
yeah,
All the
yeah,
craziness.
yeah. Just it adds to the mediocrity of what's going on. Like,
That's one of the few soundtracks I actually just listen to because I think it sounds pretty.
oh yeah, it's a damn good score.
And then if you give someone a ride home from work and they're like, "What's that? That sounds pretty." Oh, it's from that film Cannibal Holocaust.
I guess that's one of the first examples of a shot on video style film.
Yeah, definitely. I'd say Blair Witch always gets all the love, but
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Blair Witch, and then I know the last broadcast tried to say they were first and stuff, but that last broadcast kind of sucked. I was disappointed in that when
I've
I
still,
watched it.
yeah, I've still never watched that. I've heard about it for a while,
The
but
the ending was really lame, and I kind of see why Blair Witch is the one that's remembered. But
Blair Witch never did nothing for me. I saw it in the theater. I haven't went back to it, to be fair, and I've talked about it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go back to it one of these days. But when I saw it in the theater, maybe because I was drunk as hell, I don't know, but I didn't like it at all. I was like,
hey, alcohol
screaming
can
at the
make
screen. I was like, refund, refund, like pissed off.
alcohol can make movies better because I had some margaritas when I saw Exorcist Believer in the theater, and I'm like, that
Oh,
wasn't so bad. And I watched it sober on Peacock, and I was like, damn, I need to leave
yeah,
the margaritas alone.
yeah. I'm not a believer. That's for sure
So
on that
sometimes,
one.
sometimes the booze can kind of help, and good alcohol and a good crowd.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely.
Well, Darren, have you seen anything you've seen movie wise recently, or have you bought anything movie wise or anything that you want to show off before we get started?
Who?
Or Brandon? Sorry, Brandon.
Okay.
Oh no, it's just I've been trying to get my sister into the Universal monsters and stuff, and it's kind of going well, but it's kind of like some other friends. They're like it's in black and white, and on the TV it's like a square. But I thought I'm trying Bride of Frankenstein. She might like that one. I've
Oh
been
yeah.
trying to suggest her to get into that, but I'm kind of more into like that kind of. I kind of outgrew slasher movies, I guess, a little bit. I've just seen them so many times. I'm kind of going a little to the more like gothic stuff.
I love Gothic. I love the Italian Gothic too, but I kind of outgrew the slasher. Uh, that's why I'm so into the damn giallo, like the giallo. I just think they're written better, like the mystery part of it. Like slasher. I like good mystery slashers. There's some good ones out there, but if it's like Jason, Michael, and all that shit, I mean, how many times can you do the man in the mask shit? I don't know.
Well, that's like me and my buddy Lewis went to the theater and they had a preview for that new I Know What You Did Last Summer, and it's like, yeah, I could pass on that one. I don't give a shit.
Right.
I'm just kind of tired of those kind of movies too, to where it's like, oh, we brought this person back from like 30 years ago, and we're gonna call the movie the same thing as the first one, and I'm done with that too.
Yeah, rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
When you look at all the examples where they did that, where they did a movie that's supposed to be like a sequel, or in the case of The Thing, it's supposed to be a prequel, but they just called it The Thing.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I didn't like that prequel too much. Did y'all?
That's the one with the bad CGI, right? Where like
Yeah.
the dude's face kind of melts and it looks like Dreamcast.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same story, except it takes a female and makes her McCready, pretty much, like, in a way, you know? I don't know. I don't, but,
Well, I want to talk about a anniversary today. 50 years since this was released. 50 years. And I went to Mahia Theater with my sister and her girlfriend and my friend at the time, Morgan, and we went to Mahia Theater and watched Jaws in 1975, the year it was released.
damn. Okay.
And it was a full theater, and everyone cheered, stood up and cheered at the end when Brody blew up the shark. And that's, I've said this many times, that's my favorite movie. You know, there's greater movies, there's more important movies, there's scarier movies, there's funnier movies, there's whatever, but there's no movie that I enjoy more. And God, if I haven't seen it 100 times, I've seen it close to 100 times. It's
Right.
one that I sometimes I'll watch 2 or 3 times a year. And yeah, it's celebrating its 50th anniversary today. It's put in the theaters today, Jaws. So
Well, that one there, like, as a child, man, that music, you know, I'd hear that music in my head when I would go swimming at the damn lake. Like, knowing, not thinking as a child, you know, there's no damn shark in this lake. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, there might be a gator in that son of a bitch, but, you know, I don't know. But, no,
here,
those are the effective films, though, that when you keep thinking about it, once you leave the theater, you know. So, that music, that soundtrack and all.
John Williams.
John Williams, yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
for
I like.
me, it's the perfect movie. It's got everything you want in a movie. Is
Oh, yeah.
it Jaws?
To me, that movie really gets good when it's just those three on the boat. You know, they're singing the songs and shit.
I
Yeah.
love the opening of Jaws. The way it opens with the chick swimming. Uh, yeah.
Well, okay. Well, let's start with Jaws, I guess,
Yeah.
for our subject. Our subject is what we consider the scariest scenes in horror films. And I kind of consider Jaws to be a horror movie. It's a monster movie. Um, and so let's start with Jaws. And that opening scene with Chrissy, the girl swimming.
Mm-hmm.
God, I was squeezing my sister's girlfriend was squeezing her hand during that whole process. She was holding my hand and I was squeezing her hand when Chrissy is getting eaten by the shark at the beginning. You know,
Right.
of course you don't see the shark; you just see her. Being drugged through the water, and but you know what's happening underneath the water. You know what's happening to her, and great scene. And scared the ever living shit out of me at 9 years old, you know.
Right.
So yeah, that's kind of what we're doing tonight
Yeah.
is talking about what scariest scenes, most intense, most shocking, whatever, just individual scenes from horror movies. And
I always thought that. I always thought that scene in Jaws where they're in the boat and the dead body kind of pops up. That always got a jump out of me.
Yeah, the face
Yeah.
jump scare kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you see like the worms coming out of his eyes.
That was a good one, and I like when Roy Shire's throwing the chum, and you see the kind of the shark's head.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
you're gonna need a bigger boat.
Yep.
And of course, Quint's death when the shark, gets up on the back of the boat and he goes sliding into the shark's mouth.
Yeah.
And man, Spielberg back then, he didn't fuck around. He would show gory and bloody stuff and chopping.
Well, hell, that little kid getting eaten was pretty rough too. There's all that blood splattering and shit.
Yeah.
Did you get that scene with the mom where she slaps Roy Shire and stuff? It's pretty heavy emotional shit.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But I'll turn it over to you guys. Dirk or Brandon, y'all pick a scene, something scary.
Okay. Well, I got to go back to my childhood, man. So that's kind of like where it is for me. I always think back when I was a kid because that was. Uh, I don't know how well it holds up today, but there are two scenes in this one film. It's 1979's Salem's Lot. And it's the little boy at the window.
Oh my God! Yeah, I knew he was going to say that.
But the other scene that's still effective today, like I don't know how, like I was watching it like not too long ago, and it wasn't as effective as it was when I was a kid because my bed was by a window. And after I went watched that movie, I went to bed. I kept looking out my damn window and shit, like making sure that some bitch wasn't coming. But no, the other scene is the rocking chair scene with I'm blanking on his name. Um, he's in the dark. He's just in that rocking chair, and you see his eyes. They're like bright white looking. He's like, teacher, look, teacher, and all that shit. Like, yeah, that's Salem's Lot. It's an early one for me.
That's a good movie. I always like the scene where the guy catches his wife cheating or whatever. That was a funny scene.
Oh yeah, that's a great scene. Yeah.
Well, the bit with the floating kid. Oh God! When he floats in through the window, and that fucking smile he's got. You can see you can see the hint of his fangs. They're not real prominent, but you can see them.
Right.
And, oh God, it's creepy as hell. It's still creepy as hell. That
scratching on the window and shit. Like the whole thing. Like, it terrified me when I was a kid.
Toby Hooper.
Yeah, definitely. Toby Hooper might come up a couple times tonight.
Yeah, I know he's going to on my list. Right. What you got, Brandon?
Well, I always thought Amityville 2 was always scarier than the first one, and that scene where he doesn't go to church and he's by himself and it possesses him and the camera just kind of just goes up, which I guess was hard to do because they were pretty big back in them days, I guess, and it follows him around, and when he kills his family and shit, like that always kind of freaked me out because they can't open the windows, and they went a little overboard towards the end with the makeup, but like those scenes where he gets possessed and he's killing his family, I always thought was really kind of freaked me out.
Yeah, that's a damn good.
And also,
oddly enough, Jay covered Amityville 2 with us on the Eurotrip.
Yeah.
Also, it's a scary scene. I don't know if it'd be a horror scene, but just the domestic violence with Paulie from the Rocky movies is beating the shit out of his wife. That always freaked me out when I was little too, because you're watching it and you're like, oh damn, he's like smacking her and shit.
He's a scumbag in that one.
It's kind of more, I guess, like the real life shit that's kind of scary now, like him just beating his wife, and it's kind of hinted at that he like rapes her or something. Or I might be misinterpreting that.
Yeah,
but it's just kind of like, just that movie as a whole is pretty scary to me, I think. Yeah.
Also, the creepiness of that scene with the brother going in there with his sister.
Yeah. Damn, I forgot about that. Yeah, there's weird incest in that film, too.
Yeah.
And then the mom's like, I know what you did. She, like, smacks her. It's like, damn, why ain't you smacking him, too? Shit.
Well, that's something I always said. The second one's a lot scarier and creepier than the first one. The first one always, even as when I first saw it, way back as a teenager when I saw it, it just made me mad because I'm like, just get the fuck out of the house.
Well,
get the fuck out of there. What are you staying there for?
Here's the thing, though. If you read the book, to me, the book is better than the movie because more shit happens. But when you want, like, I like the first one, but damn, it's slow. Like, even for me that has a lot of patience, I'm like, okay, come on now. Demons pick up,
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing with me is it just that's what, and I watched it recently because it'd been so long since I've seen it. I wanted to see, well, maybe my attitude's improved on it. Maybe I would like it better. No, I was every bit as pissed off. Get the fuck out of there, because all this shit is happening in this house. Just get it. The house is literally telling you to get out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
of course, it's the priest that hears it. Get out. Well,
well,
okay, you don't
the
have to
thing
tell
that
me.
would have made the thing that would make it easier or better is if there was somebody who was like, it doesn't help you. Like in haunted house movies, they say if you leave, it follows you or whatever.
Right.
If they had someone say a line like that, maybe it'd be a little better. But my ass would have been out that house as soon as they said get out. Oh, damn! It's a shame we can't stay. We got to leave.
Yeah, like life savings or not. I mean, I'm putting it up for sale. No matter
Have you
what.
heard the Richard Pryor bit where he talks about like the white people in horror movies and he goes in the house and it's like, get out, and he's like, he ran out and then he's like, okay, I'm leaving this house and take the cross out your pussy.
But yeah, the second was definitely creepier and scarier, and then also it's based on a true story, and I mean I don't know how accurate it is to what actually happened, but
I go back and forth on it, but I bought the book, The Amityville Horror from Barnes and Noble, and there's like a big old, what's he call it, a prologue or whatever, and it's like, what's supernatural to you might not be supernatural to others, and it's like, nuh-uh, if there's a ghost, there's a ghost. It's either there or it's not. Someone's lying.
But I'm trying to remember because it says the name and doesn't it? I think part 2 is more accurate to the true story. Besides the possession part, besides all the crazy, you know what I mean? The murders. I'm trying to remember the guy's name.
Oh, Ronald DeFeo.
Yeah, DeFeo. That's it.
See, I don't know. I used to think it really happened, but then they were saying that Ronald DeFeo later said that the only thing evil in that house was me. So he admitted that he did it. I guess he was in prison so long. He just said that it was him. He just messed up on drugs and killed him.
Yeah, that case is crazy. It's bizarre to look into when you look into it. Ted and Lorraine Warren.
Yeah. I always thought it was funny because if you watch the Conjuring movies, they're like young and attractive, and I saw what they really look like. I'm like, one's a fat old man and the other one's an old lady. Like, what the hell? They look nothing like the movie people.
well, that kind of sparks a question that I would have for you guys because I don't know if I've ever had an experience. I would say where I saw a ghost or felt a ghost.
I heard one
spirit. But my sister Kathy has one that's very, that kind of intense, where she thinks she saw a ghost. And but you guys have any experiences like that?
Yeah, I talked about it on the show before, but I thought my buddy Brad and them were just smoking too much weed or were drunk because where he lived at, there was actually a headstone on the property where a kid died. And I was sober as a judge because I didn't really mess around with that stuff back then. And I could hear you could hear it, but you couldn't see it. It was like a little kid running around laughing and shit. Unless they were really good at pranking me, but I mean, that shit, I was like, Brad, I gotta go. I gotta leave. And it's like, she's more scared of you than you are of her. Bullshit. But it was audible. Like you couldn't see it. It was more like a hearing type thing.
I had an experience one time, like kind of crazy. So I had a old lady that died, and I tried to wake her up. She wouldn't wake up, kind of deal. Her name was Teresa, but anyway, several nights had passed, and anyway, I was getting a shower, and I could have sworn I felt something cold as hell on my back, touched me on my back. And it freaked the shit out of me. I jumped out the shower. It was odd. I mean, it was just odd. It was very odd. But yeah, that sounds crazy. But like,
maybe she's trying to make a move.
Right. But I felt something cold, and yeah, it was a strange feeling.
If I was a ghost, I'd be messing with people. I kind of look forward to it. I'm gonna be like that demon. I'm gonna throw stuff, mess with them, call my little ghost buddies over, be like, "Hey, watch this."
Right. Move shit around.
See, I ain't gonna be lazy like that Paranormal Activity ghost that barely opens a door. I'm slamming it.
Well, I guess I'll throw another one out there. This is more recent. Because of that first Terrifier, kind of, I talked earlier with Dirk about, when Dirk has said there are no rules with horror movies. There's no rules. But
Right.
each individual movie kind of sets their own rule about, how far they're going to go or what they're going, what direction they're going to go in. And, the first Terrifier film, definitely, it's almost like a proof of concept. There's not much of a plot to it. It's just Art the Clown killing, basically, killing women.
Yeah,
And
it's my favorite of the three too. Like,
I'll go with the second one as my favorite, and that's what I wanted to touch on. Is the second one. I think her name is Allie, and
yeah,
she goes into the kitchen. She sees Art having him a glass of water, and he's drinking him a glass of water. And she's like, "What the fuck? There's a clown in my house," And he sees her, and she goes running upstairs to her bedroom, and he chases her. And oh my God, this is the scene where I don't know if this is the goriest scene I've ever seen. The most, as far as someone being brutally killed on camera, this might be the peak for me. Is her death. He's got a pair of scissors. He cuts her scalp off. He breaks off one of her legs. He takes one of her hands and splits her hand down the middle of the fingers and rips her hand or rips her arm in half. And he's stabbing her in the back, and he's skinning her alive.
yeah.
And the salt and the bleach.
And and then he's doing that, and then it's like he pauses for a second. It's like, and of course he doesn't talk. Art the Clown doesn't talk, and and then he goes off camera. He comes back and he's got salt and bleach, and he's pouring salt on the wound and rubbing salt into the wound.
Well,
But
I'm glad you mentioned that because me and my cousin got in an argument about that movie because he thinks that it should be like he's all for the censorship. He's like you shouldn't be able to show all that. And to me, like I was trying to tell him, it's so damn like ridiculous. It's almost like Itchy and Scratchy from The Simpsons. It's not even to me. It is not even real looking. But he got all pissy about it, and it's like you're sick for liking that stuff. And it's like, well, I guess I'm sick because I seen 2 and 3 in the theater.
Yeah, I mean it's brutal as hell.
It is, but like you said, movies they shouldn't have rules. I mean, it's not like he's really killing somebody; it's a bunch of latex and shit,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not really well though. They took extra time, like I guess because of COVID or whatever. So that's how that scene developed because they had more time. So he was like, "What else twisted shit can I do?"
well, and that's the thing about the scene is it just goes on and on and on and on.
Yeah. And then the shock on the mother's face when she comes in the room. Shit, like.
Well, my favorite one was the mashed taters because after he shoots the mom, the kid comes home and he like starts putting mashed taters in her face.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny. I was laughing at the scene, and because we watched it, I was over at his house, and he was like, "What's Bert like this?" And I was like, "Me."
Well, he's got her all skinned alive on the bed, and she comes in and sees her, and Art just kind of does this. Oh well,
Well, I mean, I love the third one too, where he blows the kid up. He's handing out presents and shit, and he just that's a good.
Definitely don't pull no punches. I did notice though that he got rid of the nudity, and from part one. Like part one, that split scene to me is still like, holy shit.
To me, the split scene's more painful than the guy getting the chainsaw up the taint or whatever. To me, because damn, he's just like.
Right. Yeah. And he's just all into it, and looking at the reaction of the other chick and shit. Like
he hangs a nude woman upside down.
Yeah.
And with a hacksaw, splits her
Well,
into.
he also doesn't he also like wear like a woman's hair and like titties or something, and he's like walking
Yeah,
around like.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's he has his little Marilyn Manson moment. It looks like.
Yeah, he should have been doing more like this, like Buffalo Bill. It would have been more funnier, but you know.
Right.
Well, what y'all got?
Well,
Uh,
this is gonna sound like a weird one, but everyone talks about Exorcist 3 with they. But the part that always scared me is like when they're describing how that one priest got killed. He's like, "What's those little jars?" Like that's his whole blood supply. And I don't know.
oh
That
yeah.
always freaked me out because it's like, yeah, you know, that's something supernatural. Because how would you take that much blood from someone not spill a drop? And then they show "It's a Wonderful Life" on the wall, so the demons just kind of like fucking with them. Like, oh yeah, that's y'all's movie that y'all saw. F you,
Right.
It's a Wonderful Life. Like, damn. Like shit like that always freaked me out too. Like it's like that's why paranormal stuff scares me because they know everything about you, type shit.
Right. Uh,
Yeah,
since you're speaking on Exorcist 3, like the scene where Kinderman goes into the cell with Brad Dourif, the Gemini killer. That whole scene where the Gemini killer is explaining all that shit to him, and Kinderman can't see that he looks like the Gemini killer. All he keeps seeing is he looks like the priest from part one, right? But that whole shit, he's like, "Look at me," and all that. It's just like, damn, man. I think it's Brad Dourif's best performance, man. Like, I really do.
and he's like, "Excuse me, I'm raving."
Yeah, right. But
And I
yeah,
like that. I like that scene where he starts singing and then Kinderman smacks him. He's like, "Ooh, a couple boos from the balcony."
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's great. That whole scene's great, and it goes on for like 20 minutes. That whole,
My favorite part of that movie is when Kinderman, he's like, "Do you believe?" And he's like, "I believe in slime and infidelity," and all that shit. That's my favorite part.
oh yeah, it's good shit.
Yeah, that's like hearing him scream, man. That actor is like one of my favorite actors. Like I seen him in a drama where he was a lawyer, and he's like, I'm like, hell yeah, I like hearing him yell and shit.
Oh, George C. Scott.
Yeah,
Yeah, hell yeah, he's great, man. Everything he's in, uh, awesome actor. Uh, so I don't know if y'all noticed in the very first Exorcist. I'm not going to mention, like, I know the Exorcist. You know, most people have talked about the head spin scene and the crucifix masturbation, which I don't understand that being called a masturbation scene, but whatever. But the head spin scene and the crucifix scene, but the scene where that's Kinderman that comes to talk to Chris, and Burt Dennings has been killed. So the detective, that's Detective Kinderman. He's talking to Chris. If you notice on the nightstand downstairs by the stairs, like downstairs on a nightstand, there's a crucifix sitting there on that nightstand. So when they're talking, the whole time they're talking and shit, when the detective leaves, if you look in the background, you won't see the crucifix there no more. And then that's when the crucifix scene happens. So just knowing the creepiness that Reagan or
snuck down or
yeah
whatever.
snuck down while they were talking, like the whole time, like
See,
it's
I brought this up on the show, but there's a movie reviewer that said that what was Burt Dennings doing in Reagan's room, and he was saying that Reagan was kind of acting like showing the psychological signs of someone who was like
sexual.
sexually abused. And I never
Mhm.
thought about it till I seen that guy's review, and then I'm like, yeah, what was he doing up there?
Well,
Type
yeah,
shit.
yeah. But what was he doing up there?
And we
Because
already know he's we
she
already
says
know
like he's like, you know what she did? It's like, well, what did she do? Type shit. You know, did she murder him or did he like do something to her?
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
you already know he's a piece of shit though, just by the way he interacts with everybody else when he's drunk. He's messing with the Jewish guy and saying something about Nazis and shit. I don't know, but
Well, what's your theory? Where did the crucifix come from in the beginning? Where did
Well,
she? Where did it come from?
Well, didn't she get mad at one of the servants and asked, "Did you put this under Reagan's pillow?" And they're like,
He
"No, I
said, "No,
didn't."
I didn't do it." And so,
No, yeah, I'm thinking that maybe he left that crucifix on the nightstand. You know, I don't know, but I think it was his crucifix though, because she knows he's a Catholic or whatever. You know, Chris. So
Yeah, that's what I always thought too. I thought he did put it there, but I never paid attention to the nightstand. I never looked at it, so I didn't know that she snuck down there and grabbed it. That's creepy.
that's creepy as shit when
Yeah.
you don't see it, but after you notice it, it's like, damn, that's some eerie shit. But
The
well,
whole
I'll go
time I'm
back.
watching that scene, I'm like, if I was her, I'd be like, God damn, is he ever gonna leave? Because he's just sitting there, and she offers him another cup, and usually most people be like, Nah, nah. He's like, Yeah, I'll take another cup. Shit, it's like that.
Well, I'll bring up Exorcist 3 again real briefly because a lot of people, or you see a lot of websites that go over, scary scenes or shocking scenes. And of course, they say that it's one of the most famous jump scares is in Exorcist 3 with that girl in the where she's got the hood and coming out of the
yeah,
with her hands. What she's got a knife or something with it in her
some
hand.
shears, like these
Shears,
big old
yeah.
shears, like,
And
that are surgical shears, right? Like
yeah,
that it don't exist, but it's cool.
I guess they're used to decapitate people. I don't know, because with George C. Scott, with Kinderman's talking to him, they're all like, "Yeah, we got these."
Yeah.
but that's one of the most infamous jump scares is in Exorcist 3 that
Yeah,
I love the
and
noise too.
the whole concept of using all these old people in this retirement home too. You know, like it's yeah, that's creepy as shit.
possessing them.
Right.
But also I'll go back to The Exorcist because for me when I watch it because it's your favorite movie, Brandon,
Yeah, I
right?
think the greatest movie ever made.
Yeah,
It's in my top three.
It's probably number 2 for me. Jaws is my favorite, but yeah, Exorcist is right up there. It probably is number 2 or 3 or something.
Okay.
But when I watch it, and I watched it here recently, a couple of weeks ago, watched it again. You watched the extended cut. I watched the original cut. That's my favorite is the original cut. But when I watch it, I often think about what people in 1973 how they were taking this in.
Right.
And so when it comes to the bit with the cross, with the crucifix, let Jesus fuck you.
Yeah.
And, oh my God, can you imagine in 1973 taking that in for the first time?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, for sure.
So
it's still effective today.
To me, that's one of the scariest parts of the movie. And I remember one time, and it was so weird because I've seen the movie several times, but I had to be like in junior high or something, and I was watching it, and that scene came on, and I ran out the room. I was like, nope.
Yeah,
Exorcist.
And then she smacks her mom.
Repeat it one more time. Let Jesus fuck you. Can you imagine hearing those words?
Right.
And seeing that shot of Reagan stabbing her groin with the crucifix.
Well, not only that, but then she smacks her mom, then takes her mom's head and like shoves it down there, and is like, "Lick me."
Yeah.
But then she's like, "You know what she did? Your cunting daughter." Like,
that's when you first get the head spinning, spinning
right
around,
And it goes from bad. It goes from bad to worse. And then, like, she tries to run in the damn bookcase, or not the bookcase, something like goes in front of the door so she can't get out. And it's just like, damn.
Yeah, it's like one of them big old dressers, one of them big old chest of drawers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's also I got to mention, like, so that at the end, like during the exorcism, right, when her head spins around one more time, and it kind of does it slow, and then it jerks. And then you see that distorted half face, like half of it's demon, half of it. It's that shit. So it got me as a kid bad. And Reagan, when she's laying in her bed, and all you can see is her eyes when Father Marin's pulling up, that classic shot of The
Well, see,
Exorcist. You know.
my my parents pretty much let me watch whatever I wanted.
Yeah.
Pretty much, I've seen that. The one I grew up with was watching the extended cut, and always the spider walk scene always made me shit my pants when I was little and stuff. Like, oh dang.
Yep. That's the shot. That's it.
That's one of the most famous shots in movie history. Is
To me, it's almost like a gunslinger getting dropped off, but instead of a stagecoach, it's a cab.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you see Reagan's eyes as soon as
And
he gets.
she calls him out too. She's like,
Right. Yeah. But that screwed with me bad when I was a kid, man. I went to bed. I could have sworn I was seeing shit in the dark, you know. After watching that movie, like my mom was playing with me. I seen it, 6 years old, shit. But yeah.
yeah, that's the thing that freaked me out too, though, is how they always talked about how when Dennings died, it's like it's only 1 in a million chance his head would have been spun around or something. Like that always kind of freaked me out too.
Oh yeah, Burt Dennings.
Yeah, like a 1 in a million chance his head had to be spun around. I'm like, damn.
Yeah. So
I just didn't like how they some of the medical stuff too. It's like after she stabbed herself like that, I'm pretty sure that would be a trip to the ER or something.
Oh yeah, yeah.
well, of course, if her head spun all the way around, it would snap and it break her head all the way.
Right.
And her stabbing herself in the groin
Well,
like
see,
that would damage
that's
her
why
for life.
that's why I like The Exorcist on Fox TV show, because you'd actually see the demon would grab the person's head and turn it, and that's how the demon would kill people. And sometimes when they do the exorcism, like those Africans were trying to keep the person's head from like turning and shit.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, in that TV show, if your head goes all the way around, you're dead. It's not like the movie to where they just kind of spin it around. Which that show was good, but it got canceled after 2 seasons. I guess nobody watched it except me.
I didn't watch it. So
I didn't see it either.
Yeah.
It was really good. Instead of a crucifix, they used a curling iron.
Oh hell.
But she did go to the hospital, and that's how she escaped. Is because they took her in an ambulance, and CPS came and all kinds of shit. And then she gets out, murders some people on a subway.
For me, beside the crucifix bit, the most disturbing part of that whole movie is that whole medical sequence, when they're putting her through all that shit.
Oh yeah.
And especially since one of the guys is a killer. I think one of the people in that scene actually murdered some people.
Murder, yeah.
Yeah.
When they put that line in her neck and they take it out and the blood spurts out of her neck, and it's like, oh my God, I still watch that, and I feel a physical sensation when I see it.
I feel bad for her because I went through it with my mom, is where you go to the doctor and they can't tell you what's wrong, and it's like, well, y'all should know what's wrong, and it's like sometimes you go to these people for help and they don't know what's wrong and shit. They're like, oh, everything seems fine, but
the diagnosis.
Yeah. But that machine was scary too. The one that's like bang, 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 bang.
See, I had that done because I was having dizzy spells, and I think it was a damn PlayStation 2 game I was playing that was giving me the dizzy spells because it was a real flashy game. Anyway, I had dizzy spells. I would be at Walmart and with a cart, and I'd have to squat down and just, I couldn't walk. I had to just pause for a few minutes before I could walk. I was so dizzy. And I thought, oh God, I've got brain cancer or something. So I had that procedure done. They didn't put a line in my neck like they did her. They didn't do that. But that damn machine where you're in the dark, you can't move. They got these two things on either side of your neck that clamp your head, that prevent your head from moving. And that damn bang, 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 bang sound, that is exactly what it is. That damn bang sound. That bang, 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 bang. Oh my God. Yeah. Anyway, they didn't find anything. And then they figured that's what it was. It was a damn video game that was causing me damn dizzy spells. But
yeah, that's some scary. That was the medical shit. I think is what made a lot of people pass out in the theaters too, from what I read.
Yeah.
Like a lot of it wasn't even the horror. Well, I mean, a lot of it was the horror shit, but a lot of it was that kind of stuff too.
But okay, what else you guys have?
Uh, well, The Shining, man, it's my favorite film of all time. So, uh, there's several scenes, but the
The old
elevator
lady in
scene,
the tub.
yeah, the hag, the beautiful woman that transforms into the hag, room 237, that scene, the scene with the elevator scene with the blood and it flash cuts to the Grady twins and then Danny's like, with that face and shit, and I don't know, man, the editing, the score, The Shining's just, it's like Jaws is to you, The Shining is to me,
Those steady cam shots.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
man, it still gives me the creeps every
That
time.
weird guy, I was told it's a dog suit, but he looks like a bear. Like, what the hell was that about? That always
Well,
kind of like freaked me out.
I guess he
so in
was
the
giving a
book,
guy a blowjob, I guess.
yeah, in the book, it's a dog. Uh, but in the movie, it looks like a bear, right? Uh, but yeah, that's an odd scene. The book gives way more. It's kind of more disturbing. Uh, who those people
I need to,
were.
I need to reread that or check it out because I like to read and stuff, but I don't know if I ever read the book. I know Stephen King hated the Kubrick film, which
Well,
didn't make
Yeah,
sense for me because I love the Kubrick film. Like, damn, that movie's good.
I'll
yeah,
speak. I'll speak on that because I'm a big Stephen King fan. I read several of his novels, and I've got several of his books, in hardback and paperback and stuff.
yeah.
And I read The Shining recently. I had read it back in college, but I just like last year. I reread it, and yeah, if you're going to go by the book as an adaptation to a movie, it's terrible. It's it's the worst adaptation of a movie like ever.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
definitely not an
It,
adaptation.
but it's
because
not it's not as bad as the Lawnmower Man adaptation
well,
though.
maybe it's not that bad, no,
Yeah,
but it's pretty bad because Shelley Duvall, kind of mousy, skinny woman. In the book, she's very pretty. She's
very
very,
beautiful. Yeah,
and she's very strong. She stands up for herself. She stands up for her son in the book. In the movie, she's shrieking and cowering and
hmm
screaming, and yeah, as an adaptation, it's bad, bad, bad. And I can see that if you wrote the book, you'd be pissed off at it. I can see,
Well, in
but
in all fairness, though, he sold the rights, and then Kubrick does what Kubrick does.
well,
Like
yeah, and that's the thing is
he takes a book, he takes novels, and then makes it his own shit.
makes it. Yeah, he made
Yeah,
it his own movie,
yeah,
and as a Kubrick movie, it's great.
right,
As a standalone horror film, it's great.
right.
The one issue I have with The Shining that I've always had with The Shining, and that's Jack Nicholson. Now, I love the man. I actually really like his performance in it, but he goes so overboard and over the top. Um,
I love it though. It
and
works
I
for me.
thought it was to me it's iconic though. It's like it's Johnny. I can see how someone because I heard some people say where it looks like he's crazy before he gets there.
Oh
But
yeah,
wasn't he like an alcoholic that broke his son's arm or something? So maybe he
well,
was.
in the book, he's very regretful for doing that. He
he's
grabbed his
very
son. His son was messing with some papers. He grabbed him and broke his arm.
yeah,
But in the book, he's very remorseful for what he's
and
done.
he's struggling with his alcoholism.
Yeah, and he's struggling with alcoholism. But of course, in the movie, you got Jack Nicholson being Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
He is. I mean, Jack is in Kubrick's. Jack is don't give a shit about his family, really. Like so.
and that. But yet, as far as him being crazy, almost the whole movie, it's like one of the early. They're driving there. You hear that, honey? You saw it on the television.
Yeah, yeah. Talking about the damn Donner Party where they
Yeah.
ate each other and shit.
Well, the thing about it though is I always kind of viewed him looking kind of crazy and shit. That's just kind of his face though. Like he's one of those people that just kind of looks scary. Like no disrespect. Like I ain't trying to. I know I'm not the best looking guy myself. I'm just like
Yeah.
if someone's like Jack Nicholson's looking for you and he's pissed, I'd be scared because you know.
Yeah, Jack has that look like, I mean, hell, he played the devil, Witches of Eastwick. I mean, he
Yeah,
looks like
Witches
the
of
devil.
I love Witches of Eastwick.
Yeah.
Him and Willem Dafoe both kind of look scary. So if either one of them were like pissed and looking for me, I'd shit my pants. You know.
Yeah. He's my favorite actor as well, like out of all actors. Uh, but I don't know. It's just The Shining, and then Kubrick's Shining. You can interpret so many different ways. You know,
Moon landing.
yeah, all kinds of shit. Like you go down a deep rabbit hole, like looking at all the stuff he put in the background, and
Yeah, there's documentaries about it. I went down that wormhole. It's like, and then the carpet means this about the moon landing, and then Danny's shirt is the same space shuttle or something.
right. But no, it's iconic, man. That's it,
What is it like in the early where he's in the office talking to the guy about the job, and it didn't like a Playgirl magazine or something?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's just odd as hell, you know. Like you don't know why is that in the lobby though? Like why is that sitting in the lobby of this hotel? You know, what's
I
Kubrick
didn't
trying
even
to tell us here?
I
You
didn't
know?
even notice that.
Yeah, I mean they're like the book. I guess these people were having in the book, right? The ghosts were they had like sex parties and shit. A little bit, if I
Yeah.
remember right in the book,
Hmm.
or people were going there to have sex or whatever. But it touches more on in the book. But I mean, I don't know. When I was a kid, though, the first scene I walked in on was that bathtub scene when he when Jack goes into the
Yeah.
in the bathroom, and then that score, the music, and everything, and it's just man, it yeah terrified the shit out of
It made
me.
it made a mark, huh?
Yeah, definitely. But
Well, to
I
me, still one of the crap. Sorry to interrupt you, Brandon, but one of the creepiest moments, and it's still I don't even think it's in the book, but it's that whole all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. You know when she's getting the papers and looking at that. That's all he's written.
yeah,
You
Yeah,
know,
that's what I was.
it's,
That was what I was just about to say because you see him working throughout the whole time, and then she finally you see it. It's just page after page after page.
and just
that's
I
when
guess for months on end, that's all he's typed.
And
right.
I love the maze too. Like to me, like I know like there was one that was like a TV movie where it's like animals, like edge animals. Like the maze to me
Yeah,
is cool.
yeah. The hedge animals Kubrick got rid of, and you know,
Well, and in that TV version, they had the hedge animals in that one.
I
But to
didn't.
me, the maze was scarier because I'm kind of uncoordinated and I don't know, like Alex Jones says, I'm kind of retarded. So like I'd get lost in that. You would get me. I'd be like, oh damn.
And there's that great shot. It's that overhead shot of that maze. That great shot.
Yeah, where he's looking down and you can see
Yeah,
him walking.
he's
That's
looking at it's that model of the maze, and he's looking down, and you have that overhead shot of them.
yeah, yeah. It's
A lot of just really, just great camera work, great shots in that film.
right. Yeah, it's that's why it's my number one though. You know, it's a masterpiece. I never get tired of it. Like I could watch it day in day out.
I was gonna bring up another film from the '70s. I don't really watch it a lot because I'm not really into the rape revenge stuff. But I was really freaked out when I saw the '70s Last House on the Left, where they take the girls out in the woods and they start like cutting their names into them and making them piss themselves and shit. It's just like I don't know, it's like real life shit. Like that kind of stuff actually happens, and it just got from bad to worse too. You know,
Yeah,
he's
Last
like,
House
oh,
on the Left is shit. Yeah,
He's like,
that's
oh, smack her, and then they rape them and shit. And they get their comeuppance, but it seems like I don't know. It's just that part, that whole little chunk of the movie when they're in the woods to me is just kind of disturbing. And the chicken lady makes you feel a little better about it because it's funny, but you're still just like, okay, here's the funny chicken lady. Let's go back to them torturing these girls in the woods.
and when the one girl goes she's just traumatized. She goes out into the pond or whatever, the lake.
He gets shot.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I guess just seeing the cars drive by always kind of freaked me out because it's like if they could just get to the damn road, maybe someone would stop, but they can't get that far, and it's real creepy shit.
Yeah, Last House is
And then, as
God
someone who
tier.
has as someone who has dental problems, that whole dream scene where they put the chisel on the guy's tooth, they go boom. That just kind of made my mouth hurt.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because these are all messed up back here, and tooth pain to me is like one of the worst pains too. And they just kind of like let's pull his gums back, and they stick it on there, and
Right.
yeah,
What's that,
I always heard.
that movie with Dustin Hoffman? Is it safe?
okay, yeah,
A Marathon Man? Is it safe
Oh yeah. Yeah.
with the drill?
yeah.
Or does he have a drill, or he just it's just a hook or something? He's hooking into his tooth.
Yeah, that movie was one. A lot of those movies that are just kind of more realistic, like I Spit on Your Grave too. That scene where she's getting raped is real disturbing and kind of scary. It goes on for forever and a day.
Bringing that up. Have you ever seen Irreversible?
Mm-mm.
I want to see that. It starts from the end to the beginning, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And so in the middle of the film, there's like this 10-minute rape scene that's probably the worst ever put on film, but it's and the camera don't cut away. What happens? It's brutal. It's hard to watch. It really is. But it's right in the middle of the film, like so you can't really get away from it. But
Yeah, there's movies like that, and Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer and stuff like that always kind of freaks me out because there's this actual like crazy people out there.
oh yeah, and that was a true story on Henry.
Because that's another one to where they're watching the VHS, or you see the footage and the camera zooms out and it's them sitting on the couch watching what they did. And he's like, "Rewind it, Harry," and they just or
Yeah,
Henry.
like, we watched that not too long ago. Like, I mean, I've seen it several times, but I showed it to my wife not too long ago, and she usually won't watch shit like that. But I wouldn't think she would, but she's really into like true crime stuff. So she I guess you can't say you really like that movie, but you know what I mean. Like it's well made film.
It's, and it's funny because I felt bad for all the victims except the guy who sold him the TV. I'm like, that dude was an asshole. He had it coming.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely.
It's like, hell yeah, smash him on the head with that shit and stick him. But I felt bad for everybody else.
As far as anything that when you see it, you almost feel it. As far as someone being killed or stabbed or whatever. And there's three that I'll name. One is that fucking pencil into the ankle in Evil Dead. Oh my god! Every time I see that, I wince. I curl up in a ball every time I see that pencil in the ankle in Evil Dead.
Yeah.
In Wolf Creek, the head on a stick.
Oh yeah, head on the stick.
Oh
shit.
Oh my god! Because you think that this girl is going to get away with get away. Maybe she's going to escape. When I first saw it, of course.
Oh yeah.
Then the head on his stick, and when he shoves that knife into her back and spine or whatever. Oh, and speaking of I Spit on Your Grave, the bathtub scene, where
Yeah.
And
that's a good scene, but it looks like paint, and that just kind of takes me out of it. If the blood was a little more realistic, but also like the guy from the video store really hyped it up but me and my friends, we saw Hostel and all that shit before we saw Spit on Your Grave, and it's like, yeah, she cut his dick off, so what? Like what?
I don't know. It still works for me because
yeah,
it's the jerk that you see under the soapy water, that kind of jerk,
Like it's kind of in the mind, kind of.
Yeah, and even though the blood looks kind of fake, when it bubbles up, it's like, oh shit. And then when she goes and she closes the door and locks him in there, and she puts on a record, she's listening to a record, and you hear, it won't stop bleeding. He's screaming.
To me, the kills, that should have been the last one, because like he wasn't the last one to die. That would have been a perfect way to end the credits, where you hear him screaming and she's just kind of sitting there knitting or whatever, and then you could just end it with her throwing him down the stairs. But you had that scene on the boat, which is, I don't know, it's fun, but it's kind of that looks like wax. She stabs. That's the only thing with that movie though, is like the revenge. The special effects just look kind of fake. Like when she stabs a guy in the back with the axe, it looks like she stabbed a piece of wax or something.
Yeah.
But,
I'll mention, I'm going back to 1963. So that's Mario Bava's Black Sabbath, the drop of water segment with Miss Perkins. Have y'all seen that?
I've never seen that movie. I need to see it.
I think I saw I seen it years ago, but I don't remember really a thing about it.
It's an anthology film. It's 3
Is it the one with Karloff?
Yeah, Boris Karloff is in the Word a Lot. So
yeah.
That's one of the stories. A Drop of Water is kind of a ghost kind of story, but Miss Perkins looks creepy as shit. And she's a dead woman. The story is like, I don't want to spoil nothing, but there's a nurse comes to, Miss Perkins has died. So the nurse has to sit with her. For some reason, I'm trying to remember why. I can't remember why, but she tries to steal a ring off her finger. And then later on, crazy shit starts happening. But Miss Perkins is creepy as shit. Just look that up. Like if you get a chance, the Drop of Water segment in Black Sabbath is one of the creepiest horror movies.
Like it's like with Brandon said, it might have been. I've seen it, but it's been so long that I need.
Yeah, because I remember hearing Dead Pit talk about it, and I seen it on Netflix. And the only thing I remember about it was Karloff was in it. That's it.
Yeah, the Word a Lot is the segment with Boris Karloff.
Yeah,
but it's all good. All three of them. The other one's called The Telephone. The Telephone segment's good too. But yeah, it's a good anthology film. And Boris Karloff is also the narrator. He's kind of like the host of the whole thing. So, pretty cool.
Yeah, it's not necessarily a scary moment, but speaking of Karloff, I like in the Black Cat where he gets skinned alive by Bela Lugosi. And it's weird because he has him chained up. It looks like some kind of kink thing or something because it has like a big X and he's chained up. He's like, I'm going to peel your flesh or skin or whatever. I don't know, or I could be reading too much into that, but I'm like, it just kind of comes off as homoerotic before he skins him alive. But I don't know, maybe it's just my sick mind. I don't know.
Well, I'll pick one. And this is what Dirk was talking about, how something affects you as a kid, when you see something as a child. And I was 12, I think, 12, 13. And it was at Mahia Theater. My sister, because it's rated R movie, so my sister had to get the ticket for me, but she just dropped me off. She didn't want to watch it, so she just dropped me off at the theater. And there might have been 5, 6 other people in the theater. So I was sitting there by myself watching Alien.
And, shit. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Well, having seen it so many times and it being such an iconic shot now.
Right.
But imagine seeing it for the first time and having no idea what's coming. When John Hurt starts gagging and coughing, and then falls on the table, and they're all gathered around him trying to help him, and that fucking chest burster breaks out of his chest.
Yeah.
Holy shit! As a 12-year-old or 13-year-old, whatever I was. That just blew my fucking mind, because I had no idea that was coming.
Yeah, same. When I saw it very young, like I had no idea. I seen it on home video, when I saw it.
Well, I imagine people too. They didn't know it was going to grow, so they're probably watching the movie thinking it's going to be a tiny little creature. Then the next thing you know, it's gigantic.
But oh my god, yeah, that's one of my favorite movies. Period. But just a kind of a horror movie in space.
Yeah.
And you know, uh, but oh yeah,
what does it say? In space, no one can hear you scream.
And that commercial, yeah, that's one of the scariest commercials that I had ever seen at the time. You have an egg and it cracks open and light spills out of the crack, and you hear this kind of screech, and then in space, no one can hear you scream. And just had no idea really what the movie was about from that trailer. And just the title Alien, well, you figure, okay, an alien's going to be involved, but so watching it for the first time, didn't know anything about the story, didn't know anything about it. So when the chest burster scene happened, it just deeply affected me,
Yeah, definitely.
And I didn't have any. I was by myself. I didn't have anyone to turn to and go, "Oh my God, did you see that shit?" I'm by myself.
I still think the first Alien's still my favorite of the whole franchise. I mean,
me too. Yeah.
I know a lot of people prefer Aliens, the second one, but
that's more of an action film. I really like Aliens, but it's really that's an action movie. The first movie is a horror movie.
Definitely.
I always liked the a movie that freaked me out was in Hellraiser 2, where the guy thinks the bugs are on him and he's all like cutting himself up and shit on the mattress.
Oh yeah, shit.
He's like,
that's pretty rough. Yeah. It is. Yeah.
I'm like, damn. And that's one of the ones where I think Hellraiser 2's like Amityville 2. I think it's better than the original. Like I like Hellraiser 2 all day over the first one.
Okay, I like them both. If I watch, I kind of like to put them together. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's just me. Like I feel like it's just like because it transitions right into the next film. But
that poor bastard, he thought he had bugs on him, and he's just cutting himself up and is bleeding out. Like I was like, damn.
Right. I remember though in '87, I think it got grossest film of the year, the first Hellraiser. And I just remember that being on the cover of Fangoria magazine and shit. And I remember a buddy of mine was like, "You got to see this damn movie. It's so nasty." And then we had seen that. And then he comes, he's like, "But I just found this." And then he found it was my buddy Matt when I was young. He's like, "You think Hellraiser's gross? I found something grosser. It's an Italian movie called Buried Alive, which most people know from Beyond the Darkness, the Joe D'Amato film. Holy shit, man. It's like a taxidermist picks up this hitchhiker, takes her back to his place. By the way, his wife's already died. So he dug his wife up out of the grave, brings her home, and he's like preserving her on the bed. He brings the hitchhiker back, and the chick's smoking a joint and shit. And he just starts like abusing her, man. He takes these horse clippers and starts clipping her fingertips off and shit. It's like
damn.
The whole damn movie is brutal as shit. And I was like, damn, that does beat Hellraiser, like as far as brutality and grossness.
I need to check that out.
You mentioning that, Dirk, as far as brutality, on-screen brutality, have you seen Martyrs?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Martyrs is rough.
Yeah, that's on my watch list, but I had people warn me about that one. They're like, "Are you sure you want to watch that one?"
It's one of those movies that you maybe watch once or twice in your whole life.
Yeah. It's pretty rough.
It's not a movie you come back to, Mark.
Yeah, no. Beyond the Darkness, you can, or Buried Alive, but most people know it as Beyond the Darkness. You can come back to it, you know what I mean? It's not that damn crazy, but when I was that young, it was pretty rough. Like, you know what I mean?
But Martyrs is something I suggest you do see it.
Yeah.
But once you see it, you're liable to say, okay, I'm good. I'm good. One time's enough.
Don't watch the American remake, though.
I know I've never seen that. I've just the
I,
original.
Yeah.
I haven't seen either. I haven't seen either one, but I was
Okay.
always heard that the foreign one's pretty rough.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, as far as just torture and brutality and just uh, makeup, gore and on screen.
Have
Uh,
y'all? Have y'all the other movie that popped in my mind is have y'all ever seen that film Deranged with that old man from Home Alone, to where he's Ed Gein and he's like fucking skinning the people and
I
shit?
haven't seen it. I've seen the trailer for it now, and
Dude,
I know. I
that
think Vinegar Syndrome put it out recently. I think.
there's one scene that actually is pretty scary to where the girl she goes in for some reason she's in his house and there's all these dead bodies and you think it's a dead body, then you see him open his eyes and he's wearing someone's face and he's chasing her out the house dressed wearing a woman's skin and shit.
Right.
Like, and it's crazy. It's just the nice old man from Home Alone murdering people and
Oh
shit.
shit.
I
Yeah.
need to see that though.
Yeah.
I'm writing some shit down. I need to write down the range.
Yeah,
I need to
Deranged
check that
is a
out.
good. It's a good one, man. And it's weird because like you feel bad for him. It's like I don't. It's like I don't want to condone him killing people, but at the same time, I don't really want him to get caught. He's
Right.
kind of fucked up.
Now I don't know how y'all feel about Hereditary. I know a lot of people hate it.
That's on my
I
list.
love it.
Okay.
I love that
It's in my
movie.
top. It's in my top 5 films of all time. But have you seen it, Jay?
Oh yeah,
Which
well
which
it's on my list,
Okay.
and I don't
which
know
is
what you're going to speak to, but
which
Go
is
ahead.
crawling on the
I
ceiling.
got a
That's
couple
when
scary.
scenes I can
when the
mention.
girl has the nut allergy and
Yeah.
she's in the car and she's coughing and gabbing and sticks her head out to get some air and then yeah. But what was you going to speak to about it?
Okay, so so Annie gets possessed by King Pyman or whatever, the demon, and the boy's in his bed and he's like soaking wet. He wakes up, and most people don't notice it on first watch. It's like the second or third watch you'll notice it. But Annie or King Pyman that's in Annie, she's up in the fucking corner in the darkness,
Yeah,
Oh
just
yeah, it's
sitting there.
scary as shit.
It is creepy as shit. And so when you like read some background on King Pyman, he don't make a noise when he moves and shit. So when you see her, like when he turns his head looking somewhere else, and she goes out the room, like you don't hear nothing. It's just that's so creepy. That shit and the piano string scene, right?
they're sawing her head off.
Yeah.
You know, there's certain movies that I made the mistake of watching Home Alone, and that was one of them. To where I was by myself in a dark ass room in a dark ass house,
Yeah.
and it's like oh shit. It's like I want to go. I want to go grab a drink from the fridge, but what if that bitch is out there? You know?
Right. Then all the cult people. I mean, that's the kind of films that generally freak me out. Like knowing that there's a whole group of people like conspiring on someone, like
Wicker Man.
yeah, yeah.
Or the Sacrament would be one too, because they're all out there like Jim Jones and shit.
Let's see.
Sacrament. I haven't
Yeah.
seen that yet.
How do you pronounce? Is it Midsummer?
Midsommar? Yeah.
Midsommar.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one too. It's like The Wicker Man, pretty much.
It's a lot like Rosemary's Baby.
Oh,
You
I
know?
love when the old people are screaming "Hell, Satan!" That's like my favorite part. Like,
Yes.
And the thing, what's great about Rosemary's Baby is you never see the baby, but it's just her reaction. What have you done to his eyes?
Yeah.
is this sequel pretty good? Because my mom was always talking about, oh, there's one that's okay. That's whatever happened to Rosemary's Baby or
And
whatever.
there's a prequel that was made. What was it last year? What was it? The Room something.
Was it?
Oh, I forgot about that. I need to watch that.
There's
It's
a
like,
prequel to it?
yeah,
Oh,
Room
wow.
207, I think it was, or something.
It's actually pretty good. I watched it and I would recommend it. It's not
Okay.
great, but it's actually pretty good.
I got to check that out then. I didn't even know about it.
Yeah, there was a
What's the name of it?
Room 207 or something. And then there was one that came out in the 2010s that was like a remake TV series of Rosemary's Baby that was all right.
Okay, I haven't seen none of that. I just recently watched Roman Polanski's The Tenant. Have y'all seen that one?
That's one I need to revisit because I have seen it, but it's been so long.
No, I
Because
need to see that. I need to see that one. It's I mean, it's one of those deals with Roman Polanski. It's like he's a talented filmmaker, but then I remember what he did, and I just see one of his movies on a streaming service. I mean, yeah, just kind of go past it.
well, you got Repulsion, and then Rosemary's Baby, and then The Tenant, and that's his apartment trilogy, is what it's called. So,
Hell yeah!
Repulsion was. Have y'all seen that one?
I ain't seen that one.
Okay,
I need to see The Tenant and the Repulsion. Yeah,
Repulsion come out in '65, but damn good movie too. I'll say. I mean, I know like it's hard for people to separate the art from the artist, but I mean, I don't condone what he did, but I do like his movies. I gotta say, but I don't know.
I need to, but that's one. Both of those I need to revisit. Repulsion and the Tenant.
Rosemary's Baby's great though, because that one scene where like she's the devil's like having sex with her or whatever, and you see like the eye. I don't know if it's true or not, but I was always told that was Anton LaVey, but I don't know if that's true or not.
It is. It's Anton LaVey playing the devil in that scene.
The guy he was like the Church of Satan.
Yeah, that's him for sure. That's makes it even creepier, you know. And then all the shit after Rosemary's Baby that happens to Sharon Tate, which is kind of wild.
You know? Poor thing, she got killed by the Manson family or some shit, right?
Yeah. And Polanski just was out of town that night, you know.
Right, pig on the door and blood.
Right.
You know that there was a movie called I'm drawing a blank on it, but there was Fatal Vision's what it's called, but it was based on a true crime where a guy murdered his family, and he tried to trick the police by writing pig and shit on the wall, but they were able to like somehow figure out it was actually him that did it. But he thought he was gonna he thought he was gonna trick them that I'm gonna make it look like some hippies did this shit. And then Matlock is like not Matlock. What's the guy's name? Andy Griffith's like a detective in the movie or something. He figures it out.
Well, the Mansons were doing that, trying to start a race war, is what I heard.
They wanted to. Yeah. They thought that they wanted to make it to where it's like white versus black or whatever. But that shit's real helter skelter. That could be on a scary movie list too, because there's some scary shit in that movie too, where they tie the people up and kill them and shit.
Mm.
Well, anything like that's true life. That's real, you know. That's
home invasion stuff is always terrifying.
In Cold Blood's another one to where they just go in those people's house and just fucking kill them for no reason.
Yeah,
and for some reason,
Beretta, Robert Blake was in that,
and he killed his wife in real life.
Yeah,
which is crazy. You know,
I didn't know that.
He got off too. He got acquitted. Yeah. Sure.
That should be a Tragedies in Tinseltown. I've been waiting for Death Pit to do a new one.
Yeah,
bring Robert Blake up to him.
I will. I'll bring it up to CK. I'll tell him
because damn, I didn't know that. Damn.
Yeah, and then Robert Blake in have y'all seen Lost Highway? David Lynch.
David Lynch. Yeah,
man, in that movie, he's fucking
and
creepy.
That makeup they got on him, that white face.
Yeah. He's such a creepy bastard in that movie, and knowing what he did to his wife later, I was like,
have you another one that popped in my head was that ventriloquist movie with Anthony Hopkins called Magic.
Magic. And once again, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Brandon, but another one of the scariest fucking trailers in
it is
ever.
That doll gun.
Yeah.
Abracadabra, I sit on his knee, presto changeo, and now he is me. And that doll, and with its Anthony Hopkins.
Hopkins, yeah.
Yeah, Anthony Hopkins does the voice of it. Oh my God, that's the creepiest damn trailer. That and the It's Alive trailer with the basket that's slowly turning.
There's something wrong with the Davis baby.
Yeah. And that the It's Alive trailer and that Magic trailer are two of the creepiest, scariest trailers ever.
I don't know. I thought the Elm Street 3 one was pretty creepy, to where it's the girl holding the dollhouse or whatever, and then Freddy's pops up.
I don't
It's
know.
pretty scary trailer too.
I don't know if I've seen that one. I got to bring up Bay of Blood, another Mario Bava,
Ooh,
1971, aka Twitch of the Death Nerve.
that's a movie Friday the 13th Part 2 stole from.
Yeah. But the scene with the fucking machete to the face when the dude opens the door, like, holy shit! Like, I mean, it came before Friday the 13th, so that's why I can't bring it up. But and also the double murder.
To me, they did the spear better too, because they're kind of squirming more, and that's why I always kind of remind people. It's like Friday the 13th Part 2 stole from Twitch of the Death Nerve, and I think they stole the look from The Town That Dreaded Sundown.
Yep.
A little bit of plagiarism, a little bit, but I still like Friday too.
The thing about it, Sean Cunningham did admit to it, though. He's like, yeah, we did.
The tater sack.
Yeah, man. Yeah. But Mario Bava's high tier for me. He's my second favorite director of all time.
There's so many of those like giallo films and Italian films that I need to catch up on.
They're really good, and what I like about them is, like, for some reason them Italian women are like super duper pretty too.
Oh yeah, they're hot.
They're just it's like damn, they're all like really attractive. But that's a good one, and I always thought Friday 2 was even though I felt like it stole from it, I thought that movie is pretty scary too. When they're like, "There's somebody in this room," and you see them pop up.
Yeah, Friday 2's classic for sure.
That's the only one I think that's really kind of scares me. The other ones are just kind of fun, but when he's in the shadows and stuff, and to me, it's like, I don't know. To me, the tater sack's a little scarier than a hockey mask too.
Definitely. You brought up the Evil Dead earlier, but seeing it very young was that "We're gonna get you" that shit with the girl Linda or whatever.
Smile the way she says that.
Yeah, just that clown doll makeup looks like she got on.
Well, and the damn tree raping the woman.
Yeah.
What's her name? What's her character's name? But
I'm blanking on
it. It's really intense, the way that's shot.
I saw an interview to where the actress said that she didn't know that they actually had the limb like penetrate her character, because it was a different woman laying down that got hit with the stick, so she invited her family to like a premiere.
Oh yeah. I was hearing something about that too. Yeah.
To me, that movie's pretty damn scary too. Even though you could kind of tell the special effects are not too good, but it's just real creepy.
Yeah,
it's a little creepy because Bruce Campbell's character Ash, he's alone, and they're all out there, and there's nowhere you could go. They can't get away from him because the bridge is destroyed, and the demonic shit always scares me. Like, that's always the shit that gets me is the demons. So I'm scared of them.
That shit. The Evil Dead's still my favorite of the franchise out of all of them for me.
I love when they melt too, and it's stop motion animation, and they're like melting, and the book's sticking its tongue out and shit.
Yeah,
good stuff.
Join us.
Another one, Cujo, man, got me when I was a kid. The trapped in the car scene. Well, pretty much the whole damn second half of the movie's trapped in a car, but.
Well, the movie's scary because doesn't the little kid need insulin or something, or there's something wrong with them?
Yeah, and it's like blistering summer, and
the car won't run, and it's real intense. The
suspense in that shit is damn.
And it makes me feel bad because even though the dog, he's killing people, it's like it's not Cujo's fault.
Right. Yeah.
But the ending of that, I'm trying to remember. Does the kid die, or do they leave it ambiguous?
He doesn't die. He dies in the book. He dies.
Okay.
But he doesn't die in the movie.
So Jay, you can answer this. I was talking to somebody about this the other day. You can answer this probably better because I've never read the book, Cujo. But in the book, don't Cujo get possessed by a dead evil sheriff?
I think so. It's been so long since I've read it, but I think maybe he does.
There was a certain character in one of the Stephen King novels. I thought he got possessed by.
I think he still gets rabies, but then he does. I think get possessed. But then in Christine in the book, it's possessed by the former owner of Christine.
Yeah.
That's who's making Christine do all the shit is the ghost of the former owner of Christine. In the movie, they do away with that.
That's the only thing I wish Carpenter would have kept because I remember reading the book in high school and liking the Carpenter movie better. But, my English teacher thought that was blasphemy, but, it's just my opinion.
I like both. I really like the movie. I really like the book.
Well, I like is in the movie. I like the music because in the book they keep talking about the Ramones, and they're all right. I'm not the biggest fan of them of the Ramones. I just kind of like the music that they have in the film a little more. But that scene when that girl chokes is pretty scary too, where the lights are coming up and she's like.
Well, it's my favorite movie car. Of course, I've shown my cars, my Christine cars. I'm showing them. I'm not going to show them now, but and that's something that still gets to me is at the beginning of Christine, where you've got all the Plymouth Furies coming down the assembly line, and they're all because the Plymouth Fury only came out in white. That was the only way you could buy a Plymouth Fury back in the day was in white.
Oh hell!
And they're all coming down the assembly line, and every single one of them is white. Except for Christine, is red, and nobody's saying anything. No one's saying, "Well, where the fuck did the red car come from?"
Right?
They're working on the car, and of course, the hood slams down on the guy's hand, But they're working on it and stuff, but no one's saying, "What the fuck? Where'd the red car come from?
Where'd that red paint come from?"
Yeah, where'd that come from? No one says anything.
I used to work on an assembly line at a cabinet shop, and they always had shit together. So in real life, that would have caused a stir because they're like, "Wait a minute, something's wrong here."
Oh yeah,
serial numbers and shit.
That was the only way you could buy a Plymouth Fury was in white, But of course, Christine's red. So. Okay, well, as far as something physical that kind of makes you wince, I guess it can bring up the hobbling and misery.
Yeah. God dang, dude! It makes I feel it in my shin bone now just thinking about it because you see the leg of.
Oh yeah, yeah.
In the book, she cuts off his foot.
Oh damn!
But I'm glad they didn't do that in the movie. That would have been too much in the movie. I think it's just perfect the way it's done in the movie.
And it's just didn't she tries to make a makeshift splint or whatever?
Well, first she gets a damn blowtorch and cauterizes it with the blowtorch.
Oh shit!
Yeah, the book's real intense, but when she breaks it, I'm sure it's a simple special effect too. But I had ankle injuries in the past, so just thinking about that, God damn, it goes.
Yeah, I've had that on my right ankle when I played football. Something similar to that. Nothing like that, but you know what I mean?
I have to wake up real early, so I woke up at 4:30 in the morning. My dog dug a pothole, and I stepped in it wrong. And luckily, my work boots were laced up, but my leg went, and you could hear the noise. So when I watched that scene in Misery, that had to make a snap,
right.
And then, of course, they don't show the second leg, but you don't need to see the second leg.
No. The first one was enough.
Yeah, once you've seen that first one, you hear it, you hear the second one, but it's like, oh God,
That's even worse though, I think, because then you got to visualize it in your mind,
Yeah.
And her scrapbook was kind of scary too. Apparently she what she do? She murdered a bunch of other people too. She had it in a scrapbook or something.
She killed a bunch of babies, I think, as a nurse.
Killed all kind of people, didn't it? Yeah.
And again, it's isolation too that freaks me out. Because where can he go? He can't crawl through the snow to get somewhere.
Have y'all seen Anthropophagus?
I don't think I have.
I don't think
another Joe D'Amato film. The guy I was telling you about earlier, the Buried Alive or the Beyond the Darkness. But it's like the character's name is Klaus Wortman, and he's like, so the plot of the film, these people are on vacation, and they're traveling to this island and shit, and but you see this other guy, kind of like as the film progresses, he's like stuck on a boat with his wife and his kid, and they're kind of just out drifting in the ocean, and he's losing his mind, so he ends up eating his family.
Jesus.
And then, so
and it's Anthropophagus.
Anthropophagus, yeah.
I'm gonna have to look that up. That sounds like that's in my wheelhouse right there.
But there's a scene that is terrifying with a pregnant woman. That's all I'm gonna say. So,
okay.
Like,
yeah, I want to watch that one. I don't want
it's a
anything.
slow burn. It's a slow burn, but it's a damn good payoff. There's a scene where the lightning strikes, and you see him. He's just like in the dark and shit, and the lightning strikes, and then it just shows him. It's so damn good, man.
Have y'all ever seen that movie, The Entity, with Barbara Hershey?
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah! I have it on my list.
That was on my list too.
Yeah.
Just that scene.
A woman raped by a ghost.
Well, the thing is I'm big on
too, though, right?
I'm big on music and movies,
Right?
And that's one of those. That's one of the. If you didn't have that scary music, it just looked like a woman throwing herself around. But that dun, dun, dun,
it's like some toddler got crazy on the damn piano, you know? Like,
yeah, it freaked me out, man. Because when I saw it, like I said, my parents, they didn't really care what I watched, and my mom would show me all kinds of weird movies, and she bought a DVD. Said, "Oh, you gotta watch this. This is The Entity," and we watched it. That scared the shit out of me. I was like, "Damn."
It did me too. I saw it very young, but yeah, that's based on a true story too.
Yeah,
So I was like, what the hell? Like
it's supposedly one of the most paranormal cases that has the most evidence or some shit.
Right.
I saw a podcast about that to where they actually have like a picture. They took a picture and you can see the silhouette of a man or something. But yeah, The Entity, that scared the shit out of me when she's in the bathroom and you see the door shut and it locks and it just rapes her and shit.
Was one of the makeup they did, or the effect where she's got naked breasts, but you see like hands,
see the hand,
hands on her breasts, and
that's damn good. I don't know how the hell they did that either.
But anyway, Darren speaks up here. The ending to Don't Look Now is one of the scariest scenes ever. Also, Rev Kane singing in the rain in Poltergeist 2, that haunts me.
Yeah, that poor guy. I ain't trying to talk about anyone's looks, but just the way he looked is kind of frightening too. It's like, oh Jesus.
Yeah, he was about to die too. You could tell, you know, like he was at the end of his life. He had cancer, I think. I believe I'm right on that. But
bless his heart, but damn, he was a scary looking.
Yeah, he says, "'Cause I'm smart." Shit, wasn't it? I can't remember all the quotes, but yeah, he's a terrifying character.
Poltergeist always scared me because I remember the whole time growing up, I always heard people die making that movie, and then like, did you watch it? You watch it. It's coming for you. The curse. I'm like, oh fuck, the hell it is.
Yeah, both the sisters died. What the older sister, wasn't she like raped and murdered or something?
Yeah, her boyfriend killed her. Yeah.
Yep. And nobody did anything. Apparently, there's a bunch of people just standing outside their houses watching the shit happen. So,
of course, the little girl, she had some kind of virus or something she died of.
Yeah, you could tell too. Like when you see part 3, you can see it, and when you watch, it's kind of hard to watch part 3. I know part 3 ain't the greatest one, but it's kind of hard to see her in the scenes though.
Yeah, because she's swelled up.
Yeah.
real bad and stuff. And the scene in Poltergeist 1 that always got me is the guy is looking in the mirror and he scratches himself and then he starts like ripping his face.
Peeling his
Yeah.
face off.
Yep. There's a big debate between Hooper and Spielberg.
Toby Hooper, who directed it.
Yeah. But I gotta say, I think that had to have been Hooper that did the mirror scene, at least. You know.
I think Hooper directed it, but it's probably one of those things to where they're like, you need to make this look more professional or you need to shoot it a certain way, you know.
You definitely see Spielberg's production on the film.
Well,
He
you know, like particularly at the beginning where he's riding that bicycle and he's got all the beer and the beer is spewing and all that. That's just right out of a Spielberg movie, the opening of the movie.
Yeah.
But then things like that in the mirror, you know, ripping his face, you definitely see Toby Hooper's mark on that, you know. So,
the shit with the clown, with the kid and all.
That clown doll with the arms wrapping around him.
I love when the chairs get stacked up.
Yeah, the tree always messed with me as a kid. The tree thing.
All the skeletons popping up in the pool.
And supposedly that they were supposed to be real skeletons. Did you ever hear about that?
Yeah, I heard about that. They said that's why people died on set or something. They used real skeletons or some shit.
Holy shit! But
I think in a lot of movies where they show a skeleton in a movie, they're using real skeletons. I think that's the cheaper option is to actually buy a real actual.
Is that where the whole deal with the skeletons with perfect teeth come from? You know what I'm talking about? They always say they always say like there's skeletons that come from India and they have perfect teeth.
Oh shit!
So like they have a skeleton farm or something.
Damn, I've never heard of that.
I remember always hearing that, like in movies, like Jay said, like they would use real skeletons and like why do they have perfect teeth? Who has perfect teeth that you know? And it's like, oh shit, they're harvesting people or something.
Damn.
Skeleton farm.
But Darren mentioned Don't Look Now. Y'all seen Don't Look Now, huh?
I haven't seen that.
I don't think I've seen
it. I promise you, man. That is a 10 out of 10 film. I promise you'll love it. It's got Donald Sutherland. Right now. Yeah, Donald Sutherland in it. It's hard to explain it. The way the film starts off is very traumatic. Some traumatic.
Well, I mean, you know, I've seen the beginning of that, but I don't because it's sort of infamous. The beginning of the movie where Donald Sutherland's daughter drowns. You know, spoiler. I'll spoil that.
Yeah.
And so the real, you know, tragic event begins the movie. You know, him losing his daughter.
And that scene is so like it's done in slow motion, like he's screaming and shit. And it's like, damn.
And I won't spoil. I'll just say dwarf.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all I'll say is dwarf.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen the shot with the dwarf.
Okay.
But I don't think I've seen the whole movie, and I really need to see it. Another one I wrote down.
That's a masterpiece film. It really is. That's Nicholas Roeg, I believe that's his name, the director. But I tried to watch one of his other films. I didn't care for it. It was something about something heaven, something. It wasn't that good. But Don't Look Now is great. It's awesome.
A movie that I seen recently that kind of freaked me out and creeped me out was I saw that Bring Her Back, and the whole deal with the girl being blind and the foster mom like hitting her and stuff and trying to make her think it's her big brother abusing her and shit. Like the idea of being falsely accused of some shit like that always kind of freaked me out because she can't see, so she thinks her big brother's going crazy and beating the hell out of her and the foster mom, but it's really the foster mom being a bitch.
Damn.
Yeah, because the little girl's blind and she just goes over there and just goes like smacks her in the face. And she's like, "Why'd you do this to your sister?" type shit.
Let me read what Akers has to say here. He talked about the experiences with Poltergeist and what was going on with himself at the time. It was a very wild era. Maybe she's talking about Toby Hooper. Because Akers, she worked with a lot of directors and actors and stuff. She knew him personally. Akers did. Toby Hooper.
Okay.
But anyway, she says, Dirk's shirt is scaring her. Your shirt is scaring her.
The damn Grady twins. I'll tell you, like not. I mean, I'm not trying to backtrack, but I forgot to bring up about Poltergeist too. I feel like Poltergeist was scarier back in the like in the 80s and shit because TV would go off the air. And so every night when the TV went off the air and shit, I was thinking about that shit. I was like, man, that fuzzy ass TV.
I
I'm
remember
turn that
that.
shit
I mean, of
off.
course, I turned 60 in
Yeah.
September, so I remember that.
Yeah.
And, you know, da, 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 da.
Yep.
And,
National anthem and the fuzzy TV and shit.
and then you go, psh,
Yeah.
and,
So
And then the ghosts would come out.
right. Yeah, it's time to turn the TV off after seeing
Have
that
you?
Poltergeist.
I was talking with Jay about this. I guess if deleted scenes counts. I remember on one of the old Elm Street DVDs, you actually see Freddy and the Tina kill, where he's like killing her and dragging her, and he's like waving like bye bye and shit.
Oh,
Have
really?
y'all seen that? Yeah, it's real
I think
creepy
I've
looking.
seen it.
I don't know why they took that out. Took it out or edited. Maybe it was an MPAA thing. I don't know, but you actually see Freddy in the room, and he's like it's Robert England's voice too, so it sounds even like just you
Oh,
know.
damn. No, I haven't
Yeah, he's
seen
like
that.
it's on. I think it's on the Infinity Film DVD or something. I tried to find it on YouTube, but it only had to where you know how they have like the marker. It's only like just that. It's just that scene of Robert, but like there's actually out there like a whole edited part of that. And it's really
Okay.
and to me, his voice was scarier than like I guess the Freddy voice, to where he talks all deep. I always thought he was scarier in the first one, just being like, Tina, like was his actual voice, you know.
Yeah, because
But
in
then
the
again,
first one, he don't say a whole lot, you know, not like he does in the other film.
but yeah, Elm Street is it always kind of freaked me out. Like it doesn't really. I don't know if it makes sense, but The Exorcist is my favorite movie, but I think Nightmare on Elm Street's like my favorite scary movie, if that makes sense.
I remember when it came out. I mean, and I was, you know, I think I remember watching the world premiere when it came on HBO, and I remember that shit. I remember all the kids, nobody went to sleep and shit, you know, like so. It was probably 85 when I saw it. I think the movie came out in 84, but
Well, I was working as a projectionist at the Maya Theater that I went and saw movies, and I was a projectionist there for a couple of years, and I showed it, uh, Nightmare on
yeah,
Elm Street, but I didn't. You know, I was so busy screwing with these old ancient projectors that I couldn't really enjoy the movie until I had a day off where I could go and watch it,
right.
and see it for the first time. Um, when we talk about what it must have been like to take something in for the first time, because we're going way back, but it's Janet Leigh in the shower in Psycho.
Oh hell yeah, man. Yeah.
Just imagining seeing that for the first time.
Right.
A character that you think is going to be like the lead of the movie because she's presented to be like a major character in this film, and that you're going to follow her story through the movie.
Hell,
That's
she's
the
on
way,
the poster.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that's the way it's presented is that you're following this character, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, because she's stolen this money from her job, and she's trying to, you know, escape with this money, and she's, you know, trying to decide whether she's going to turn herself in or whether she's going to escape because she's this man that she's in love with. She wants to run away with him, and starts off at this motel and meets Norman and has a sandwich with him and conversation about him and his mother, and then she goes to take a shower. Of course, it's so iconic now, and it's so something you've seen a million times. But just imagining being in a theater and seeing this for the first time
In 1960, yeah, that'd have been.
Probably they're probably still used to like Wolfman and shit, right? Like the monsters and stuff. So seeing something like that may have probably freaked them out.
They never saw anything like that. Ever.
Yeah, they're probably like, what the heck?
Yeah.
And also, you got to think too. Norman Bates is a cross-dresser, so I'm pretty sure in the '60s that really freaked people out too. Like he's dressed like a woman. What the fuck?
The editing of that scene, though, so many films. I mean, because you're not seeing her naked, but the way it's shot, the way it's edited, and everything. and then it looks like she's just getting stabbed all over. Like, and then like while you're watching it, you kind of feel like you're getting stabbed all over, you know.
Yeah.
But
That's
And
another
then,
one you kind of feel it, you know.
right,
and then like she's dead with her eyes open too, and it kind of zooms in on her, and it's like she did a good job of playing dead.
yeah. Janet Leigh, I think she said that she always thought way different about showers after that. After making that movie, and you got to think though, the shower, that's brilliant because you're the most vulnerable in the damn shower.
Well,
Yeah.
I think what Hitchcock did was because I bought Psycho from Barnes and Noble too,
Yeah.
and I think having instead of her being decapitated in the shower, having her stabbed is way better too, because it's just more like ow, this. And
Yeah,
then
that's
Norman
yeah,
Bates in the book is a fat alcoholic, and in the movie he's a handsome young man. You know, you're like, oh, this guy's like a church boy or something. He's not bad.
oh hell, okay. I never read the book, but that score too, like it's so iconic. Shit, it's
Yeah,
part
it's
of it.
because to me, it's. I was lucky enough to see the movie because my parents showed it to me, so I didn't know what the twist was. So I was
Mhm.
lucky enough to see it without knowing what the twist is. But I did kind of make my parents mad when I laughed when I seen Norman in drag because I wasn't expecting it, but it was just funny seeing him dressed up like a woman. And they're like, it's supposed to be scary, and I'm like, it's funny. He's like dressed up like a woman, and he's like,
That final shot where, you know, when he's by himself, you know, and you hear you hear the mother's voice, you know,
Right.
I didn't even hit the fly.
wouldn't even hurt a fly, and you have that shot where you have the superimpose of the skull, you know, over his face. It's real subtle and real quick.
You know, you were talking about trailers. I love the trailer for Psycho where it's Alfred Hitchcock
Yeah,
walking through
he's
the set.
touring the house, and
Yeah, it's iconic for sure. I mean, without Psycho, there's not a lot after,
yeah,
you know.
And I was thinking too, like it's kind of messed up to say, but like if Ed Gein didn't do all that bad shit, like we wouldn't have a Psycho or a Chainsaw Massacre or any of that.
Or Silence of the Lambs.
Like I'm not saying it's good what he did, but a part of it. I mean, if you're gonna take lemons and make lemonade, you know.
but it influenced some classic films.
Yeah, definitely.
Uh, but let's see. What about the opening scene in Scream with Drew Barrymore?
Yeah.
What is
Yeah.
it? What is it on the phone? What is it? Is it? Do you like scary movies? Is that what he's asking?
Yeah, I always
You
felt
like
bad for her
scary movies.
parents. Her parents come home and they hear her on the line like dying or some shit.
Hmm.
Like that is always kind of rough, man. I was like, damn.
That's
I
still the
felt
best scene in the whole franchise.
I felt bad for her boyfriend that got gutted too. Poor Steve.
Yeah. She couldn't get the damn questions right. I don't think it
But,
mattered.
hey,
If she got it
I
right
have
or
a
not.
question though. Like, because if Ghostface called on one of us, we know our shit for Like,
Right.
what would he do? Would he just go home? Be like, well, I guess you win. I'll go home.
Right. I got to bring up Tourist Trap.
Well, that's a creepy one. That with the weird mannequins or whatever they are.
Mannequin Chuck Connor. Yeah. Yeah, the mannequins is what gets me with that shit. Like that whole all that shit.
Y'all got so many movies I've written down here that I need to get y'all on Tourist Trap.
Tourist
Yeah,
Trap. You
I don't
ever
think
seen
I've
that
seen
one,
it.
Jay?
I don't think I've seen it.
Oh, it's got Chuck
it's on
Connor
Tubi.
in it.
I think it's on Tubi if you want to watch it.
Yeah,
Oh
I wrote
man,
it
it's
down.
such a creepy damn movie.
That,
Holy shit.
that's all right. I watched it on Tubi one time, so I heard about it, and I was like, I ain't got no. I'll just click on it, see what it is. I'm like, wow, it's actually kind of creepy with them weird ass mannequins. Shit.
Yeah, definitely.
But then again, mannequins kind of scare me. That's why I don't like going to Target. They have the weird faceless ones.
And it's got my first boner. Tanya Roberts is in that one. You know? So I remember seeing her in Beastmaster back in the day, and that's
Yeah.
I was like, Pyong! But,
what is
No.
it? The swing,
Yeah, swing.
swing.
Yeah, no, but yeah, tourist traps, high recommend.
It's a one that kind of popped to my mind is I remember being a little kid and watching The Devil's Rejects, and that whole hotel room just always kind of fucked with me ever since.
That is a fucked up scene. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
there's a couple scenes because I'm the devil. And I'm here to do the devil's work. Some shit like that.
it goes from bad to worse, and it just goes on and goes on and goes on, and I think we talked about it on one of the past shows, but Bill Moseley was like, "Okay, this is going a bit too far," and Rob Zombie's like, "Nope, it can't go too far." They went even farther.
You got one, Jay?
Yeah. Well, as far as when the first time I saw it, and just getting all wrapped up in it, because I saw it in the theater, saw it with my friend Barry, I think, and that's Ted Levine wearing those night vision goggles and Silence of the Lamb at the end, and following Jodie Foster around, and Jodie Foster with that gun she can't see, and she
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that in the theater. Yeah,
Well, sure, a big old fat lady, or whatever it was.
that Bill fat lady. Yeah,
was she a real fat woman?
yeah.
That's what it was. Fat woman.
Was she a real fat woman?
Yeah. I seen that in when it came out in the theater. Of all people, my mom took me to see that movie, and man, 1991. Yeah.
And really, you think about the time period that this was basically a slasher film, horror movie. It won all the awards. It won Best Picture.
They won't call it a horror movie, though. They'll call it a psychological. It's about a cannibal that skins people, or not a cannibal. Well, there's a cannibal, and then there's a guy who skins people.
Yeah.
It's a horror movie. Oh, it's a thriller. It's just like two things can be true. Is it a cop movie? Yes, but it's also a horror movie. I mean, damn, he peels a guy's face off. Like, damn.
Well, he's making a woman skin. He's making a woman suit.
And
And
the autopsy,
he does the tuck, and
the autopsy scene was gross too, where that dead body's laying there, like, oh, there's something in her throat, and they go in there and they pull out like a fucking moth or something,
moth cocoon or whatever.
Yeah, but the death's head or the death's, what was it called? The death's something.
Yeah, some kind of moth, man, and like. Just the whole deal with like the way that I don't know if it was an actress or a dummy or what, but that dead body looked real, just kind of.
Yeah, The Silence of the Lambs is definitely not a psychological horror film. I mean, psychological thriller. That's what they said it was, but you can't give a horror film a Oscar, I guess.
Well, it's a horror film. It's a slasher film.
Yeah. It has scary shit in it. It's a scary. Same with I had that argument with The Exorcist too. It's like. It's a drama. It's, I guess, also a horror movie.
Anthony Hopkins wearing that guy's face.
Yeah, it's brilliant, man. Well, didn't see that coming at all. Like when he's in the ambulance, feels it face, you're like, oh shit, damn it.
I always thought it was weird how AMC would show movies, because the first time I seen that was on AMC, and it shows all that blood and stuff. But when they would censor the cuss words. So whatever that guy says, I smell your cunt, like it's edited. He's like, I smell, and it's like edited out. But you could see Anthony Hopkins like ripping the fucking flesh off of his face.
Or whatever. Orange stuff they keep, but they edit the sex stuff out.
He throws his jizz on her.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit.
They kept that part when I watched it on AMC, but it's like they threw some shit on her face. But when he says, I smell your cunt, that was cut out.
Yeah.
So it's like, did he throw snot at her? Like, what the hell was that? It was just...
And then that prison cell, that guy strung up.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Y'all seen the other ones then, huh? Like y'all seen Manhunter?
Yeah, I've seen Hannibal and
I actually prefer Red Dragon over Manhunter, but I need to revisit Manhunter too. I've seen it like once.
Okay. Yeah, I'm a Manhunter. I prefer Manhunter because I don't know, man.
What's a guy you did? Do you see?
Yeah, man. Shit, that's a damn good movie. But.
And Hannibal was one, because I went to Half Price Books and I bought some DVDs, and I bought the Silence of the Lambs, Red Dragon, and Hannibal. Hannibal's one to where it's kind of like I was entertained by it, but I feel like it could have been so much better. You know?
Yeah. I know Darren, if he's still in the chat, that's his favorite of the franchise. Uh, he likes Hannibal the most. I like Hannibal a lot more than I used to. I like it because it's set in Italy. You got Gary Oldman playing that twisted where his face is all jacked up. Gary Oldman to me's got to be one of the best
just
actors.
that voice that he has, Gary Oldman's voice in
It's
that, you know.
it's so funny.
His lips are been ripped off and his face is skinned and
It's so funny to me when Anthony Hopkins is like, "Would you like a popper?" or whatever. 'Cause I don't know if you'll ever. I've done a popper before. It don't make you want to cut your face off, you know. It's just you just kind of sniff it and makes you kind of lightheaded or something, you know. But I guess maybe Hannibal put something in there to trip him out. I don't know.
I think it was like mescaline or something, wasn't it? I don't know. But
yeah, but if you ever done a popper, like they only sell them really at the adult stores now. But you get them, you go like it'll like knock you back.
Okay, yeah, I've never done them. I know that.
Yeah.
Well, I'll bring up because Dirk says his favorite horror movie is The Shining. Yours is The Exorcist. My favorite horror movie is John Carpenter's The Thing.
Okay.
And there's several scenes in the movie that it could definitely, are worth mentioning. Of course, the chest opening up and biting the doctor's arms off.
Yeah.
But for me, the scene, it still has a lot of tension to it. And the pacing is just perfect. And it's the blood test.
Yeah.
In The Thing.
Definitely.
Where Kurt Russell he's figured out the thing is even microscopic portions of the thing are like a living creature,
Right.
So that if he burns the blood, it's going to fight,
That made me jump the first time I seen it because I wasn't expecting it. They have like a needle, right? And it's
the
like,
needle, and he puts it in the fire and gets it hot, and he takes blood from
and it goes whoop.
And sticks it in the blood, and just the way that it builds up to the payoff in that is great. It's real tense.
And isn't they're tied up and the guy's head kind of splits and they can't get away because they're all tied up and
Splits
shit.
in half and grabs that guy.
But the dogs freaked me out in that movie too. I felt so bad for the dogs, and you hear them whining. Mm-hmm. And that dog does a good job too. The one that's not infected, he kind of looks around and walking around and shit. And they go in there and it's
the head, the spider
that's my
head.
favorite horror movie. Just the tension in that movie is perfect. The sense of paranoia in that movie.
Well, see, I wish movies because I know there's a lot of remakes now, but the Carpenter film, what they did was they kind of took the skeleton of the old. The thing from another world is more like a dime store monster, but they're like, we'll take the setting and we'll do something different with it, and that's what I like about it. Yeah. And it's just kind of like it makes me wonder, like now if someone could do something like that with like instead of just remaking something for money, actually put some passion into it,
I did get to meet Carpenter. They rushed us through there like cattle, but I had him sign the. I got a poster of the thing. I had him sign that, but that's my favorite Carpenter film. But the spider head, where the head turns into a spider, like that whole scene is just.
What's the line? You got to be fucking kidding me!
Yeah.
Because how do you kill it? Because you're like, okay, we caught it on fire. Its head ripped off. Now it grew legs like a spider and walked away. What the hell? Like.
That's my favorite. And of course, Rob Bottin's makeup effects is just amazing still.
Yeah.
But that's my favorite horror movie. Just everything about it is perfect. Kurt Russell's perfect.
And it's still to this day, people are debating like at the end of the film, like.
I think it's the black guy that has it in him. Who was
the thing? Was it McCready or was it Childs or
what is it that some people note?
Because he drinks, don't they make Molotovs and McCready hands him like one of the deals that has like gasoline in it and he drinks it.
Yeah, I think I heard that too.
I think someone noticed when someone I've read as far as who might be the thing at the end that Kurt Russell's breath. You see his breath, but you don't see Child's breath. My personal opinion is I don't think either one of them is a thing.
Or what if they're both a thing? That's even creepier.
They could be.
That's even creepier to think about. Like,
but it's what they called the Apocalypse trilogy for Carpenter. What was the other two that basically
In the Mouth of Madness?
In the Mouth of Madness and I forget what the third
Prince
one.
of Darkness?
Yeah, Prince of Darkness.
Yeah.
Where basically it's the end of the world, and at the end of the thing, eventually someone's going to find the thing again.
Oh yeah.
Because it's frozen, but it may be 1,000 years from now, but someone's going to discover it. It's going to be found, and it's eventually going to take the world over, probably.
I'm still pissed off at my mom because she took me to see E.T. instead of the thing, and they come out relatively the same time. I think E.T. stayed in the theater over a year, if I remember right.
Well, I saw, I've got my quick Carpenter story because he was at Texas Frightmare, and he was not promoting, but the Ward was about to come out.
Oh, okay.
And I rode the elevator with him. It was just me and Carpenter.
Oh, awesome.
And so, he actually started the conversation with me. You enjoying the weekend? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Great to meet you. And I said, when's the Ward going to come out? And he kind of shook his head and goes, man, I haven't finished editing yet. And he was almost kind of annoyed with me for asking that question.
Right.
I said, I'm sorry. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Yes. And
Carpenter,
the elevator door opened, and he said, enjoy the weekend. I said, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Carpenter seems like a good guy, but I was always told never meet your hero, so I never went to a horror convention because I heard so many horror stories about people meeting Savini and him being a dick and all kinds of shit.
Savini was a dick. The first time I met him, he wouldn't talk to you. He wouldn't say anything to you. He wouldn't even hardly look at you. But a couple of conventions later, I met him. He was more talkative. I got my picture with him. I got his autograph. And
go ahead.
I bought that damn bootleg DVD of the Letterman appearances that he was selling. He probably wasn't supposed to sell those fucking things. It was damn bootlegs. He could probably go to prison for that.
I think he got aggravated with me because he had it was the night 90 reunion when I met him the first time, and he had Patricia Tallman sitting right next to him, and he was trying to sell me a book for $50, and I didn't want to buy the book. I already got the autograph from him. Then he wanted me to get Patricia Tallman's autograph, and I just wasn't that, I wasn't, I'm not a big night 90 guy, but it just seemed like he was irritated because I didn't do none of that shit,
Well, thank God I didn't do it because you got to remember, I'm a lot younger than y'all, but I love Twilight Zone, the movie, and I didn't know about the John Landis shit. So if I would have went to a horror convention with that poster, that probably would have went over like a fart in church. So I guess it's a good thing I missed that one too.
Speaking on the Twilight Zone, holy shit! Now that you mentioned that, Twilight Zone the movie, the opening of that damn movie with Dan Aykroyd and the other guy, and he's like, "You want to see something really scary?" That shit that screwed me up as a kid for sure.
And listening to the Creedence Clearwater revival song.
Yeah, man. That's
what did he turn into? A wolf or a baboon or what was that?
I don't know, some kind of
creature.
But it was just like, damn, that's a way to start a movie off. Like,
I like the monster on the airplane wing.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But
let me catch up here.
Okay.
What Aker says. Can you read the book "The Case of Lucy Bending" and say if you think that would be a good giallo? I've never heard of that.
The Case of Lucy Bending? I haven't heard of that.
No.
Akers. Oh, E.T. over the thing? Oh,
no, Akers. I disagree.
No way.
I disagree. I like E.T.
Yeah.
For sure. But as far as just a film going experience or a movie watching experience, I'll go with The Thing any day.
I know The Thing. It didn't. E.T. is what slaughtered it in the theater.
It bombed, yeah.
Yeah.
And now there's a lot of people that consider that the best horror film. At least being his best film. But it's my favorite horror film. Period. Scariest scene in all the Friday the 13th movies. Huh.
Okay, for me, I got one. It's going to be Friday the 13th, Part 4, in the basement when Robbie's getting killed. And he's like, he's killing me. He's killing me. That shit screwed with me so hard. That's one that I could think of right off the top of my head.
Mine has to be the one where they're like, there's someone in this room in Friday too, and you just kind of see them kind of in the shadows pop out.
Yeah. Ted White, though, man, like his physical, what he did with Jason was just like.
Have you ever heard him talk about Corey Feldman and how he's like, Corey Feldman is just full of shit?
Yeah.
Well, you guys can go to the Dead Pit YouTube channel or YouTube page and look up my interview with Ted Levine. Ted White. Ted White.
Yeah.
I interviewed Ted White.
Awesome, man.
It's hilarious because he basically says, look, I didn't give a shit about Friday the 13th until I heard the money I was going to make. And he said that's why I was Jason, was the money.
But he
didn't have, because he was a stuntman. He used to double for John Wayne and John Wayne movies. He went way back in the 50s and 60s. He was a stuntman, Ted White. And I wish I could have talked to him for like an hour because it was so cool to just talk to him about movie and making movies and being a stuntman.
That's awesome. I never got to meet Ted White.
But
he died. He died.
Look up my interview with Ted White on the Dead Pit YouTube page or the YouTube channel.
I know he died. He was like 95 though. He had a long life.
Yeah, but he's my favorite Jason.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think scariest. I never found any of them to be particularly scary. I just found them to be cool to watch. The kills being cool and fun to watch.
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever found Jason to be particularly scary though.
There's certain shots, like there's another one in 4. You kind of see a shadow when the lightning flashes. He's outside on the house with the twins and shit.
I'll tell you what I think is really creepy, and you probably would think it's funny. But it's, what was it, part 6? When, he's in the grave.
Oh, yeah.
He shoves that shovel, what was it? It's a shovel?
It's like a piece of the fence. He's stabbing him.
Struck by lightning, and that shot of him, his eyes popping open, and he's got like worms and shit. And
that is a good shot, yeah.
And just that shot is just really creepy,
Part 6 is my favorite out of all of them.
Okay. The zombie Jason. The zombie Jason is really creepy.
To me, everyone calls it zombie Jason, but I always call it Universal Monster Jason because it kind of reminds me of those old Universal movies in a way.
I've always called it Frank and Jace.
Yeah,
Frank and Jace, like Frankenstein.
That's a fun movie. I just like that one.
Would you like to see a slasher called The Extra, about an extra that is bullied on a movie set and kills the movie cast and crew and convention panel and making the features makers?
I'll check it out. There's a Vincent Price movie called Theater of Blood where he kills critics, and that's pretty fun.
Theater of Blood is good. Yeah. Damn good Vincent Price. That kind of reminds, like, bringing up that plot line right there reminds me of, it's not a scary movie or anything, but what is that? Damn, I'm blanking on the damn name now. The one where the kid, he dresses up like all these different people. All his films that he loves and shit.
I know what you're talking about. Shit. I can't think of it either.
On the cover of on the poster, it was like he's dressed up like a vampire kind of. Damn, I can't think of the damn name of it. But shit. Anyway. I got it in the other room. I can't think. My brain is just like trying to think of it, man. Damn, that's gonna annoy the hell out of me. He's like a super movie buff, though. Y'all know what I'm talking about?
I ain't seen that one, but movie. It made me think of that movie, The Fanatic, with John Travolta for some reason, because he's like a
I've been
mentally
hearing
retarded.
about that. Yeah,
He's like a mentally retarded dude that like is obsessed with movies and stuff, and he kidnaps a guy. It's not a scary movie, but that plot reminded me of that. And
oh shit.
Yeah, you got to see it because John Travolta plays a mentally like handicapped guy, and he's all like
Damn.
stalking Devin Sawa,
Fade to
and
Black.
he's like, what was it? Fade to Black.
Fade to Black. Darren said it in the comments. That's the one. That's a damn crazy ass movie.
Another one. I don't think the entire movie's very good, but the opening is great, and that's When a Stranger Calls.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
First 10 minutes.
Yeah,
awesome.
The first 10 minutes where the phone. Carol Kane's getting this phone call. Have you checked the children? Why haven't you checked the children? And then you get the phone call with the police that says, the call is coming from inside the house, and that's the big shock. You find out the call has been coming from inside the house, and it's great. It's got a great opening, and then I think it just kind of goes downhill from there.
Well, it becomes like you're following the guy around. Doesn't he go to like homeless shelters or something, and he's just kind of like a crazy guy? I know the remake was kind of like just the first half of they basically just made it like the beginning
sequel,
of the movie.
Sequel. Oh, the remake too. I didn't like that remake.
It's kind of that was one of those ones that was kind of just bad, and they're just remaking everything at that point. But
that reminds me of since you brought up Stranger Calls. Every time when Stranger Calls gets brought up, I always automatically think of Black Christmas. Those POV shots of him going up into the attic, and I mean, there's so many crazy scenes, but the end scene in that movie is so damn crazy creepy as hell to me.
Watch that movie with subtitles to where you can hear everything he says on the phone.
Yeah.
That's another thing as far as creepy voices is on the phone.
He says, because for some reason I couldn't understand what he was saying, so I put subtitles on. It's like, damn, he's a pervert, ain't he, saying all that shit? And then there was that one movie that also had a guy on the phone. I think it was called The New York Ripper or something, and he sounds like Donald Duck or Daffy Duck or something. He's like, ah!
Yeah. New York Ripper is great. Have you seen that one, Jay?
I don't think I've seen that.
No, you got to see that. There's a scene.
Yeah.
There's a scene with the bottle. He breaks a bottle and kind of like goes. Yeah.
Yeah, he stabs a chick in the vagina with like a broken wine bottle, and he does that duck voice. He's like, shit.
And then there's like this woman who records herself having sex with Ben, and she's sitting at a table, and some guy gets his foot and starts messing with her like he has silver toes.
Yeah, he starts playing with her thing under the table and shit. Yeah, it's pretty pervy. It's a sleazy movie, I'll say that. But
that's one of those movies to where I had a projector and I was projecting it on like my wall, but I didn't know that you could see what I was watching through my windows. And my cousin's like, bro, you need to turn that shit off. I can see titties and shit on the wall.
Yeah, it's a great Fulci, man. It's probably in my top 3 Fulci, for sure. New York Ripper. There's some brutal shit in that damn movie. He takes a razor blade to a chick's eye and like just cuts her eye in half, and then cuts her nipple, and like, oh shit, But
Yeah, you need to watch New York Ripper if you ain't seen it. It's crazy. I bought it from Hastings, not knowing what it was, and I was like, "Wow, this shit's crazy." And then when he's on the phone, like,
Yeah, yeah, he's talking like Donald Duck, you know. So, but I got to bring up, I got to bring up Suspiria. You know, got to bring that up. I guess it's the hanging scene, but before the chick actually falls through the glass and gets hung.
Yeah.
Like the score, that creepy score kicking in, and it's like you hear the witch, 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 and all that shit, and it's like, damn, it's so creepy.
And just the colors, the way that movie's lit with those,
Yeah,
it
bright
has that,
colors.
it has that that Technicolor kind of look to it, to where it's like real vivid and shit.
yeah. And the courtyard scene where the blind guy's got his dog, and you like there's like you can see the shadows. You see shadows on the building, and it looks like witches on a broom, like just they're like circling them and shit. But it's pretty wild. But I
Isn't
think the
there
score definitely
isn't, there-
adds to the creep factor for
isn't
sure.
there like a bed of like razor wire? Because it's been a while since I've seen it, but doesn't
Yeah,
someone fall into some razor wire or something too?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's a lot of nightmarish imagery going on in
Yeah,
Suspiria. It's
that's
still
why I
my
miss.
favorite. Like I've seen all of Dario Argento's films except for I haven't seen his comedy film that comedy drama he made, but I've seen all the rest of them. And Suspiria is my favorite still.
That's why I miss stores like Hastings, because I would just go in there and they would have the weirdest shit, and I would just be like, I don't know what this is, but I'm gonna get it. And that's how I found out about it and watched it.
What is
There's one
Hastings?
called. It was like a video store slash books at Barnes and Noble, and like
Hastings, there's
Blockbuster had a
Hastings in
baby.
Waco that I sure miss. I miss.
God, they had everything too. I remember my mama was all like, they would order stuff. She's like, I want that watermelon man. Like I've been telling Jay about the
Uh,
watermelon man for a long time about this black
that's
and
another one
white.
on my list. I need to see. I think
Oh
maybe
shit!
a long time ago I saw that.
And I would order. What's it about? Well, this racist white guy eats a magic watermelon and he turns black. Yeah, can you order me a copy of it?
Oh
Okay.
shit! What
Well,
the
what
hell?
it is, it's an actual black man with just white
White
makeup
face.
on it. Yeah.
Okay,
Uh,
okay.
But he turns black and his family's scared of him and he's like he eats the magic watermelon and he learns that he shouldn't be.
Damn.
but Dirk Hastings was the greatest because they had books, they had vinyl, they had
Video
all
games, NECA
video
figures.
games,
We got
DVDs, Blu-rays.
we got something similar to that. It's called the Thrifty Peanut, but it's not. I mean, shit's overpriced, big time, and
Hey,
like a lot of the
Hastings
stuff.
would have some good sales.
Yeah,
Um,
Well,
and
Hastings had it to where you could trade too. So let's say
and
you
yeah,
watch something.
I took a bunch of old DVDs and stuff. And you go and trade and get money for them, or you could get store credit.
okay. Y'all got Second and Charles over there?
But we don't have them anymore. They closed all the Hastings down. It's terrible. And I
Pretty much
went.
all the movie places are gone.
Yeah, we do have Second and Charles, which is kind of like that. You can buy like a mystery box, but it's not worth a damn. I bought it. It says it has DVDs and Blu-rays, and I bought a mystery box for $30, and I got 2 Blu-rays out of the whole damn thing. 50 titles, but only 2 Blu-rays, the rest are DVDs. I was like, what the hell? But
I remember I went to Hastings, and there's so many DVDs I've got from Hastings. I got all the Tales from the Crypt. I got all of those shows there in Hastings. They had a good sale on those. But I went and got the Madman Blu-ray.
okay,
Because the Dead Pit guys they love Madman.
yeah, Madman's the shit.
And that came out on Blu-ray, so I went and got the Madman Blu-ray, and I'm watching it, and I like it. I'm not as crazy about it as they are.
Yeah,
Well, I like it. Anyway, I'm looking at the extras, and there I am.
right. Yeah.
And I'm interviewing Paul Ellers from the Fear Fest. I interviewed him, and I put it up. I forgot I'd put it up on the Dead Pit show. God, 15 years ago.
Where's Fear Fest at?
It was in Dallas.
It
And
was.
it was a guy that ran it, did a terrible job. He was going to give us all kinds of access and find us all, give all these people the interview. We had to do everything ourselves. We got a bunch of interviews. Like I said, I did Ted White. Ray did several. He interviewed Gunnar Hansen.
That's awesome.
We had Edwin Neal up here. Did a bunch. Had a bunch of really good ones. He interviewed PJ Souls. Anyway, what was I going to say about Fear Fest? Oh, I got the Madman Blu-ray, and I'm looking at the extras, and there's my interview on the Blu-ray.
Hell yeah!
My interview with Paul Ellers, Madman, and my interview with the directors on there too. So I made Blu-ray. I made the Blu-ray. So that's
Hell
cool.
yeah, man.
And I think that came out on 4K. I think CK says it's on the 4K too. My interview with him. So.
Yeah, man. But Hastings was awesome too. I remember one time because I was like real little, and I wanted to buy like a scary movie, and my dad's like, he can have it, and the person at Hastings tried to argue with them, and my dad's like, I don't know how to raise my kid or whatever, and it caused a big scene. And it was awesome. I was like Mr. Bean with the plane ticket, like how he shows it off when he leaves. When I walked out the store, I was like, yeah.
There's one I gotta mention, y'all, and I don't know if y'all have seen it, but it's called The House with the Laughing Windows. And
I definitely have heard it, but I don't think I've seen it.
No, I ain't seen it.
Okay. I'm not gonna spoil it because I want y'all to see it. But the end reveal is some creepy shit. And I mean the whole damn movie's
now this is the house with the laughing windows?
The House with the Laughing Windows. Yeah. You do gotta read it, but it's definitely worth checking out. It's the plot is this guy's coming to restore these old paintings. They're kind of mural paintings. He's restoring them, and he's trying to figure out what's going on. The whole town's weird. They act weird and shit in there. But it's a damn good movie, man. And it's like I said, it's got some genuine creepy shit in that movie.
I'm gonna watch that one when I watch, because I had one recommended to me called like something like your something's a locked room and I have the key or some shit, like some other crazy title.
That's my favorite giallo. It's called Your Vice is a Locked Room and Only I Have the Key.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch that one in The House with the Happy Windows just because it's hot.
I wrote that down. Akers asked Dirk, "Do you like the New Orleans dessert baked Alaska?"
I don't think I've ever had that.
I don't think I've ever had baked Alaska.
What is baked Alaska? I don't even know what that is.
I don't know.
I know what it is. It's kind of like it's almost like it's hard to describe. But it's white and it's sweet. It's a dessert.
Yeah, you got to think. I'm 5 hours from New Orleans.
Fade to Black, Darren says. I guess we're talking about something you talked about.
That was the one that I was talking about where the kid, he's obsessed with these films.
Rest in peace to Gallard Sartain of Tulsa from Ernest Movies and played Big Bopper in Buddy Holly Story movie, also in Fried Green Tomatoes and Stop or My Mom Will Shoot and The Replacements. What is the scariest scene in Shocker?
I don't know. Shocker never scared me.
Yeah.
I guess when he bites the guy's lip and it stretches, I don't know.
Yeah. I always like that soundtrack, though. That soundtrack's killer.
But
Shocker's more of a fun movie.
Yeah. Baked Alaska is pistachio pound cake and strawberry pound cake and ice cream and meringue of each.
It sounds good. Yeah. Anything from New Orleans is going to be good, though. I already know that, I mean, we got boudin and we got crawfish and we got po' boys and shrimp and we got the catfish Lafitte, which is awesome. We got all that stuff. But
I'm a big fan of Randy Newman, and the song that rings in my head is Louisiana. They're trying to wash us away. Talking about
Okay.
this big hurricane that hit Louisiana back in the 30s or something.
Right.
They should make a movie where someone does, or Randy Newman's calling the police on the phone, like, "I killed him, you never gonna kill me." Because
I love
that's him,
Randy
right?
Newman. Love
He's
Tom
the short,
Waits.
he's the short people guy, right? The short
The short
people.
people. Yeah. Okay, guys, we'll kind of wind down here, but
Okay.
I'm going to bring up one more as far as an iconic shot that even people that aren't horror movie fans, they know this shot. And that's Leatherface hitting that guy's on the head and clomping that guy on the head and then slamming that metal door.
Damn right.
As far as just a classic shot.
Oh, the noise it makes too, though.
Yeah,
And
that's
him twitching on the floor.
And he's twitching, yeah.
Just the whole damn thing, and that's like you said, the slamming of that door, and then you hear it like it's almost like it's echoing right when it closes. But like, so I gotta mention this. When I saw TCM or Texas Chainsaw the first time, it was the only film that it's the first film I remember I think it's the only film I ever looked away when he's putting her on that meat hook.
On the hook.
The whole scene where she's screaming and shit. She thinks she's gonna get away. He's got her, Yeah, she's cool too. I met her. Terry McMinn, I believe. She played Pam, but yeah, she's awesome. She's awesome.
That whole dinner
that's
scene.
A classic movie that's very little blood in that movie, but it's so it's so shocking and grim and creepy. The whole that long extended sequence, the dinner sequence,
Yeah.
The first time I seen it, I could have sworn that it was bloody as hell, but when you go back and watch it, you don't see nothing. It's just the way it's filmed.
Not much blood.
But putting her on that hook, that's another thing you feel. You feel that shit.
She sells that scene. Well, Gunnar Hansen too. I mean,
with her arm,
yeah. And then she's on the hook, and he's just sitting there sawing her boyfriend in front of her. You don't see nothing, but you do think you see something. But yeah, it screwed me up bad as a kid. Holy shit.
Yeah.
I always thought it was creepy. They bring Grandpa down, and I thought Grandpa was dead, but then you see him sucking on her finger, and he's like going like this, sucking on her. He's like, oh shit, he is alive. He's just really old, I guess.
And then when Sally's escaping, that shit down the driveway, the hitchhikers just slicing her in the back and shit.
I never understood after the truck driver runs the hitchhiker over. I would have been trying to get the driver's side of that pickup, but he just keeps running down the street.
Yeah. And then she, gets away from, and then you get the classic chainsaw dance.
Yeah, that dance. And and the way that it just cuts to black, it doesn't,
just leaves you wondering what the hell happened.
And with her in the back of that truck where she's kind of screaming and laughing at the same time. She's lost her mind.
Yeah.
And that's great. That's great. That shot where she looks like she's both screaming and laughing at the same time. Where she's.
I remember the first time I saw that, I was thinking, she's going on a damn loony bin. That's where she's going. She's lost.
Well, she showed back up in that Netflix movie.
Oh yeah. Shit.
Well, it's crazy because if you're just casually watching that, sometimes you put stuff on in the background, you wouldn't even know it's the same characters. It's a different actress, and she looks nothing like her.
Yeah. Well, like Dead Pit guys said, it looked like Mick Garris, the director Mick Garris.
Yeah.
Yeah, that movie was silly though. She's like, "Remember me?" And Leatherface just gets up and walks away or whatever.
I mean, the Netflix movie I have fun with. It's stupid.
Yeah.
I have fun with it though. But
it's a dumb movie.
Yeah, it is. It is.
It's kind of like the fourth. It's kind of like the fourth one is dumb and it doesn't make a lot of sense, but I'm entertained by it.
Yeah.
Matthew McConaughey's outlandish shit that he's got. Going on.
Now, when I first saw it, I bought it from the flea market. I think Jay, you know where it's at, where they have that circle. I don't know if they still have the flea market now, but they call it the Circle in Waco.
Yeah, it was an old drive-in. You have an old drive-in movie screen.
Yeah, I bought the VHS from there, and I was thinking it was going to be good because I seen the '70s one and the 2003 one, and I liked them. And I seen that one, I was like, this makes no damn sense. Leatherface is a transvestite, and Matthew McConaughey has a robot leg, and what are they? The Illuminati shows up or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, Kim Hinkle wrote that one. He co-wrote the first one or whatever. But like, before we get out of here, I got to mention Carrie. I got to mention Carrie's mom.
She was on my list.
Yeah,
Carrie's on my list.
yeah. Margaret White is the creepiest damn mom. I
Dude,
think she's got to be the creepiest mom.
what's crazy is I live in a small town, and I lived in a lot of small towns, worked in small towns. I met religious people that are actually they're not that crazy, but if you hear them talk, you're like, it's like, I believe in Jesus too, but you're going a bit too far. You need to kind of tone it down. So.
I have met people that way. Well, not that extreme, but yeah, I've met some.
Well, she was at the Frightmare. I met Piper Laurie.
Awesome.
I think maybe she was kind of in poor health. She didn't talk much, and she just didn't look like she felt very well. But yeah. I got autograph, got a picture with her. But as far as a performance, that's one of my favorite just performances in a horror movie is Piper Laurie as the mother in Carrie.
Yeah. I love where she got killed too, and she was almost like a crucifix, almost like, And
it's almost an orgasmic death,
She gets hit with the damn potato pillar. Like I remember watching that the first time. It came on TV, and I was watching it with my uncle. And my uncle was silly as hell. He's like, when all that shit happened to her, he's like, "Is she dead?" Yeah. I was like, "What?" It was. You just had to been there kind of moment
she's literally crucified. You know, with her arms stretched out. She's literally crucified, and just her slow death. It's just like she's in ecstasy. She's dying the way she wanted.
Doesn't she say something to some woman like the world's all going to hell or something? And she's like, "I'll drink to that."
But then she talks about her lust with that nasty whiskey breath and all that.
and that the way she says, and I liked it. I liked it.
Right.
I liked it.
Yeah, man.
Great performance. It's just on the edge of overacting, but she doesn't quite go over the edge.
But was she right though? Because they did laugh at Carrie. She's like, "They're gonna laugh at you." So who knows? Maybe Mama knows best.
Yeah. Margaret White.
But yeah, that's one of my favorite performances. Period. Is Piper.
That's great. And I like when is it PJ Souls that gets slapped by the gym coach or whatever.
Yeah.
Stick it up your ass. Yeah.
I asked my parents about that. It's like, what they couldn't slap her. She would go to jail. It was a different time back then. It's
yeah.
Well, back then, that's how you could get what they called licks back in the day, and it was a damn wooden paddle.
Yep. My principal had one. We had holes drilled through it.
Ooh, that's worse. But yeah, they paddled your ass back then.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
there it is.
I had it done one time, and I was supposed to write 100 sentences because I was talking in class or something, and I didn't write that. I was defying them. Fuck the sentence. I'm not gonna write these sentences, and I had to get 3 licks. And
that's usually what it was.
Way back there.
Yeah.
Good Lord, I felt like I was paralyzed. Shit, but yeah.
My principal. His name was Mr. Sebo. with the drill paddle and shit, man. Yeah. Not fun times. But
okay, guys, I guess we'll wind this up. This has been a really good one. We got some good ones. This is definitely one we could do another show of this, of just scary scenes, intense scenes, shocking scenes, or whatever. But we've covered some good ones here.
Oh yeah, we covered a lot of the bangers, a lot of the iconic.
Yeah.
for sure.
And Dirk, before we go, one more time, if you want to plug what you've got coming up on your Subjective Perspective Collective.
Yeah, so we're doing a show Sunday. We're going to be talking about some cannibal films, 3 cannibal films. Umberto Lenzi's Man from Deep River, which is actually a damn good movie. It's not just a cannibal film. I mean, it's kind of in the backdrop a little bit. Then you got, damn, I'm blanking on the second one. What is the second one? Holy shit. The third one is Cannibal Apocalypse with John Saxon. But damn.
Didn't he say Kingdom of the Cannibal Gods?
Oh, Slave of the Cannibal God, Sergio Martino. Yeah, so we'll cover those 3 Sunday. That'll be on Subjective Perspective Collective. It's a show we do. It's called An Hour to Kill. That's called An Hour to Kill. And then we do the Euro Crypt on the Dead Pit. So,
but yeah, you guys that are watching, please hit the thumbs up. If you're watching the show and you're enjoying it, and yeah, go and join Dirk's channel, Subjective.
Go ahead and share it. If the Jehovah Witnesses can knock on my door early in the morning and get out, y'all can share it to somebody. Then people that are on their bicycles sweating and shit knocking on my door, you can send this to somebody's inbox or post it somewhere or something.
Yeah.
right.
But I want to thank everyone that showed up tonight. My sister, Kathy, chimed in. Darren, thank you, Darren. Over there in Wales. How many miles away is that? How many thousands of miles away is that?
Oh, hell.
Acres. Thank you, Acres. And everyone that chimed in. But yeah, please hit that thumbs up. You may think that's, you kind of ignore that. Don't ignore that. Hit that thumbs up.
Yeah.
Really appreciate that. That helps folks helps the show get seen.
Appreciate you having me on, Jay.
Yeah, we got to do this again, Darren. Keep checking your Instagram, because that's how I don't have Facebook anymore. I'm on Instagram. So,
right.
And because I know you're busy with your own show and you do the stuff with the Dead Pit guys. But when you have some free time, we definitely
got to get you back on the Euro Crypt, man.
Yeah. Let me know. Send me, like I say, use Instagram. Send me a message.
Okay. And if you Brandon, ever want to come on Euro Crypt, we cover a lot of Euro horror, a lot of Euro trash.
Hell yeah.
What you want to do is give me like a week or so ahead notice so that I can catch up on anything, particularly if something is streaming and watch them,
Okay. I'll definitely try to make sure that it's available,
Okay. But thank you, Dirk. Once again, of course, Darren, thank you, sir. And y'all have a good day. You're going to have a good night.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you.
We'll see everyone soon.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Later,
Bye-bye.
Brandon. Later, Jay.
Bye.